Ma'am, you need to unmute yourself. We are not able to hear you.
You're not able to hear me?
Sorry, everyone. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to one and all. Hi, Dr. Kiran Chimnani. Welcome you all for one-day national webinar on NTA NetSet for paper 1. It's such an overwhelming response from your end. So many people have participated from different states of India. Thank you all for joining with us today. I hope you all have a wonderful learning session today. Wish you all the very best for upcoming NTA NetSet exam. Now, I would request Vandana ma'am to introduce the resource person for the day. Thank you, everyone, and sorry for the technical glitch. Request Vandana ma'am to take over the session, please.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much, Kiran madam. Now I would like to take the opportunity to introduce the resource person of today's webinar, that is Professor Geeta Bhatia ma'am and Professor Dolly Chawla ma'am. Dolly Chawla ma'am has done MBA in finance and she has also qualified UGC-NET in management. Dolly Chawla ma'am has been working as a faculty at Ascendance Academy. Now, let me introduce Professor Geeta ma'am, the other resource person of today's webinar. Geeta Bhatia ma'am is M.Com, B.Ed, M.Phil, and NET qualified. Currently, she has been pursuing PhD from University of Mumbai. Madam is M.Com coordinator at Sri M.D. Shah Mahila College at Malad. Madam has also been working as a visiting faculty in PG department at Rizvi College of Bandra. She is a member coordinator at Ascendance Academy. I heartily welcome both the madams in this virtual platform and thank you at the same time for accepting our invitation and giving us opportunity to listen you, ma'am. Now I would like to hand over to you, ma'am. Thank you, Dolly, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I hope I'm audible. And before my colleague, Ms. Dolly Chawla, begins with the session, as already Madam has discussed about what are we going to talk about today at Ascendance Academy in collaboration with the IQAC Department of SHM College. And I'll just present my screen. Just a moment. Just so I welcome all the participants here for this workshop on NTA UGC-NET JRF exam. And this session is specially dedicated to paper 1, which is a common paper for all the subject codes of NTA NET exam. And this is going to be presented by me, Professor Geeta Bhatia, and Miss Dolly Chawla at Ascendance Academy. Before I begin, I would like to just start the session with words which I always get inspired, and I would like to share with the students as well, and all the aspirants, those who are here today to learn something about this exam, and take some kind of motivation, I would say, through this session. And I hope it will be great for you people also that you have joined us, and I'm thankful to you guys. So as it is rightly said that comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. All progress takes place outside the comfort zone. So it's very important to achieve success in this examination, you have to come out of your comfort zone. Without passion, you don't have energy. And without energy, you have nothing. So this says us that we should have passion, whatever we are doing, and we should have energy. Now, when I say energy, means it has to be a consistent energy and a consistent passion to achieve something in your life. Determination, it's again very, very important, is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's very important. Like, I don't want to study, I don't feel like studying, but still you have to study. If you don't have that determination, it would be really difficult for you to, prepare for this exam and achieve success. You might have heard that your friends might have told you, "Arey, maine to padha bhi nahi, and simply I just qualified the exam." It really doesn't work like that. It is not a magic. It is an effort which is going to help you to achieve success in your exam. Mindset, very important. It is what separates us from the best. I mean, it makes us best from the rest of the people. It's all about mindset. Whether I really want to achieve, everybody wants to qualify the exam, but it is the mindset which you have to make to prepare for this exam. It is not simply you're just going and you're going to appear for exam. That way you can never qualify such exam. So it's your mindset which plays an important role. Greatness is not a genetic event. It's a hard work, it's persistent, and it is practice. I hope you all know these important things, but as a mentor, I thought I would just begin with these lines so that it will give you some motivation to have an interesting session over here and concentrate on whatever we are going to discuss here, me and my colleague Miss Dolly Chawla. Now I hand over the session to Dolly Chawla. She will be taking up 3 practical units of paper 1. She will be discussing on those. See, we are not going to teach here today. Teaching is a little later part, but this is like going to be an eye-opening session for you, wherein you will be given the details and we will be sharing the strategies to prepare for this exam, and we will be discussing the detailed syllabus. Though the syllabus is easily available, but what are the more important points and how the exam is approaching to the students, right? So that we are going to discuss. And all the questions whichever you are having, you can put it in your chat box. We will surely be discussing at the end, and feel comfortable to discuss and ask the questions whichever you want. And over to Dolly ma'am. Yeah, you can I'll just should I continue sharing screen, Dolly ma'am? Yes, Dolly ma'am. I request the technical team of college, can you please make co-host Dolly ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. In a minute.
Sure.
Done, ma'am.
Dolly ma'am, you may begin. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. A very good evening to each and everyone who are present over here. We are glad that you have come up to this particular platform to have to provide you all some knowledge about the NTA UGC-NET exam. You guys already know that this particular exam is very, very important towards your career point of view. Now, as ma'am said, that I'll be discussing the 3 important units, that is the 3 practical units of UGC-NET. Now, these practical units are your mathematical reasoning, your logical reasoning, and the most important, the data interpretation. Geeta, ma'am, please keep sharing the screen, right?
Okay, sure. Just give me a minute.
Yeah. In Hindi medium students, so first please provide. Knowledge in English. Yogeshwari, sorry, I'm not able to understand what you're saying. Do you want me to speak in Hindi or do you want me to speak in English?
Okay, Dolly ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
So you may continue, and just for the knowledge of students, we will be using major language as English. And if you have any doubts, you can ask in Hindi, we can answer in Hindi, and we will be using bilingual, but most of it will be in English, right? Yeah. And don't get upset, we will be using a very basic language, and साथ में थोड़ा हिंदी भी बोलेंगे. कहीं पे भी कुछ भी doubt होगा, you can please ask in the chat box. We will shortly repeat it in Hindi, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Dolly ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, Geeta, just a small query, and to all the students, is my voice clear? Is it not clear right now?
Yeah, you're audible. Absolutely.
Audible, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The 3 major units that I'll be discussing over here will be mathematical reasoning, logical reasoning, and data interpretation. Okay. First of all, coming to your important aspect, that is mathematical reasoning. मैथमेटिकल रीजनिंग के अंदर क्या होता है, दैट वी हैव गॉट लॉट्स ऑफ लाइक नंबर न्यूमेरिकल से रिलेटेड क्या होता है, हमारे पास क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. वी हैव गॉट लॉट्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस रिलेटेड टू नंबर्स. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन यू read this particular subject, how to read this particular subject, how do you need to bifurcate, that is very, very important. Syllabus of सबके हाथ में, you have the syllabus in your hand, you can read and you can start solving the questions. But what's majorly important in mathematical reasoning is you need to understand the concepts. Now see, simply series है, simply analogies है, simply blood relation है, only knowing the topics is not important over here. How to read, how to analyze these questions is very, very important. Now, whenever you are starting with this particular unit, make sure that your maths basics are very, very clear. Whether it is related to mathematical reasoning or whether it is related to data interpretation, make a note of few of the topics that I'm saying, which are very important for you guys to know. You need to know the squares and cube roots from 1 to 20. You need to know what percentage means. How do you need to convert from percentage to fractions, fractions to percentage? How do you need to do this thing? You need to know about these things. Fine. These are the basic things. Fractions bolo, percentages bolo, or you can say the things that I mentioned earlier कि भाई छोटी छोटी चीजें होती है जो हमारी मैथमेटिक्स के अंदर हमें बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होती है. Like you can say addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. How do जितना आप उसको फास्ट करोगे उतना ही क्या होगा, it will be easier for you guys to solve the questions future, चाहे वो मैथमेटिकल रीजनिंग से रिलेटेड हो या चाहे वो आपका डाटा इंटरप्रिटेशन से हो. फाइन. सो परसेंटेजेस, फ्रैक्शंस, your basic maths functions, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. You need to know squares and cube roots very well because this is helpful in your data interpretation questions as well as in your topics like coding and decoding. Like जहां पे भी हमारी सीरीज आती है, योर अल्फाबेट सीरीज, न्यूमेरिकल सीरीज और कोडिंग एंड डिकोडिंग के अंदर जो क्वेश्चंस आते हैं ना, वहां पे आपकी स्क्वायर्स एंड क्यूब रूट्स बहुत ज्यादा हेल्पफुल होते हैं. Fine. Now, when we come to the syllabus of mathematical reasoning, the basic things that the first thing that we have got is the series. Series के अंदर हमारे पास numerical series आते हैं. We have got alphabet series. There are some of the questions you will be getting the mixed questions. कि भाई A, F, G, C, F, M, like these are the alphabet series. And similarly, we will be getting mixed questions as well, like A, X, and 6, and then B, Y, and then you may be getting some number. So when you're solving the series, you need to keep in the mind that what pattern is being followed over there. You have to understand that thing. Okay, the pattern might be कि वहां पे एक अल्फाबेट छोड़ते हुए जा रहा होगा, या फिर it might be कि आपको 6 नंबर्स छोड़ के जाता होगा, और it might be कि भाई पहले नंबर से दूसरे नंबर पे जब आप आ रहे हो वहां पे क्यूबिंग्स हो रही है, फाइन, या फिर सब्सट्रैक्शंस हो रहे हैं. सो व्हाट मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन इज बीइंग फॉलोड ओवर देयर, यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. Then when we come to the second topic, that is coding and decoding, over there you have got some of the words which has been coded in some other manner, like Dolly has been coded as Geeta. So what will be Nutan be coded as? So there is some format being followed over there. You understand that thing? In a similar manner, in coding decoding also you have got alphabet series and alphabets or numbers दोनों को मिला के भी क्या होता है, codings आते हैं. Fine. So you need to understand those things. Now these topics are very, very simple. One definite question, one or two definite questions will be coming from this particular topic. You have to practice as many questions as you can. Now one important tip, अगर आप previous year questions को उठा के solve करते हो, if you solve as number as previous year questions, it will be helpful for you to understand कि examiner क्या pattern को follow कर रहा है, examiner किस तरीके के questions पूछ रहा है, whether he is asking too difficult questions, whether he is asking moderate questions, or whether he is asking easy questions. Now when we come to an NTA exam, there are the moderate questions that comes from this particular topic. बहुत ज़्यादा high level के questions इस particular topic से कभी भी नहीं आते. You don't get a high level question from this particular topic. Fine. Then we have got analogies where you find the relationships. Like relationships like what? Knife. Knife is related to a particular word. Like when you cut it, it is used for cutting or chopping. Fine. In the similar manner, we can use pen. Pen is used for what? It is used for writing. So over here we see the relationships over there. Fine. Then comes the next topic, which is blood relations. Over here you need to understand your paternal and your maternal parents. Maternal में क्या आता है? आपके मदर के साइड क्या आता है? पैटर्नल के अंदर क्या आता है? आपके फादर के साइड क्या आता है? Now over blood relations, when you see look at the questions, you have got three type of questions that comes over here. One is very simple. A is father of B, B is mother of C, C is something of some other person. So what is the relation between A and Z? Fine. This is a simple question that comes up. Then other than this, second type of questions is A said to B, inverted comma में आपको एक particular dialogue दिया जाता है, you get a particular dialogue. So based on that particular dialogue, you need to find the relationship of that particular person. Fine. Whenever questions come up in the format of dialogue, it is very easy to solve, but you need to understand the format or the pattern how to solve it. Fine. Then there are one more questions जहाँ पे आपको symbols के साथ क्या होते हैं, you get the questions like A, you will be getting into sign, and then B, then you will be getting division sign, then you will be getting C, then you will be getting some other sign, and then you will be getting a particular some other person's name. Fine. And those symbols are represented with some other words, like plus को हम लोग father बोलते हैं, multiply को हम लोग grandfather बोल सकते हैं. So those representations are also given in the question. Fine. Everything will be given in the question. Just what you have to find the relation कि भाई mother का father क्या होगा, father का sister क्या होगा, sister का uncle क्या होगा. So you need to understand that thing over there. Clear? I hope till now the topics that I have covered you have understood. Then comes the next important topic, which is directions. Again, in directions, you need to understand the four directions: north, south, east, west. Other than that, north, south, north east क्या होता है, south west क्या होता है, north east क्या होगा, ये सारे directions को भी आपको अच्छे से समझना है. Now over here, you need to keep in the mind the left right directions. If you're moving straight and then you take a right turn, so right turn ले रहे हो तो क्या होगा, आप usually clockwise move करते हो, और मुझे लेफ्ट टर्न मूव करना होगा, मैं एंटी क्लॉकवाइज मूव करूंगा. सो यू नीड टू कीप इन द माइंड द क्लॉकवाइज एंड एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शंस. विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस थिंग यू विल इजीली सॉल्व डायरेक्शन क्वेश्चंस एज वेल. फाइन. सो यहाँ तक हमने क्या क्या कवर किया? सीरीज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, कोडिंग डिकोडिंग वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, वन डेफिनेट क्वेश्चन, वन और टू डेफिनेट क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम दीस टॉपिक्स. देन एनालॉजीज, question might come, question might not come, but in previous year we have seen lots of questions from this particular topic as well. Then very very important, blood relations. From this definite one question usually come in our exams. Three type of questions, क्या क्या questions है मैंने आपको already बता दिए हैं. Then finally we saw directions. Directions again very very important topic. Simply you have to understand what is left, what is right, how to move clockwise, how to move anti clockwise. If you practice few 10 questions also, आपको idea आ जाएगा कि भाई किस तरीके से questions exam में आते हैं. Not more than that. यहाँ तक जितने टॉपिक्स हमने कवर किए ना, उसको आप एक 15, 20, 30 क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस कर लोगे ना, इट विल बी वेरी इजी. You will not have to again and again keep on repeating कि क्या है क्या नहीं है करके. If you solve 15 to 20 questions or maximum 30 questions and go to your previous year questions, solve कर लिया, बस खत्म. I will not suggest कि आप बहुत सारे questions बैठ के solve करो, because you have got lots of things to even do for your examinations, other subjects also. इतना आप अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस कर लोगे ना, ये टॉपिक्स आपके अच्छे से क्लियर हो जाएंगे. बट कीप इन द माइंड दैट यू हैव टू प्रैक्टिस वेल. फाइन. सिंपल सिंपल एबीसी वाले क्वेश्चन सॉल्व मत करो, थोड़े टफ लेवल के क्वेश्चंस भी वहां पे सॉल्व किया करो. फाइन. देन वी हैव गॉट सिटिंग अरेंजमेंट. सिटिंग अरेंजमेंट से एग्जाम में आप कह सकते हो टिल नाउ यू हैव गॉट लाइक 20 to 30% चांसेस की इस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक से हमें एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आ जाए. फाइन. अगेन इन सिटिंग अरेंजमेंट वी हैव गॉट वेरियस थिंग्स लाइक सर्कल में बैठे तो ए के बाजू में बी के बाजू में सी बैठा है, सी के बाजू में डी बचा है, तो किसके अपोजिट कौन बैठा है, यू हैव टू टेल दैट थिंग. सो ओवर हियर यू हैव गॉट वेरियस पैटर्न्स कि सर्कल में बैठे हो, एक टेबल में ऊपर बैठे हो, कि एक लाइन में बैठे हो, कि एक ट्रायंगुलर शेप में बैठे हो. सो यू विल बी गेटिंग डिफरेंट पैटर्न्स. सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि कौन किसके बाजू में बैठा है, कौन किसके अपोजिट में बैठा है, एंड यू हैव टू सॉल्व दोस क्वेश्चंस. देन फ्रैक्शंस, वेरी सिंपल. फ्रैक्शन से मैंने ऑलरेडी कहा है, फ्रैक्शन से परसेंटेज एंड परसेंटेज फ्रैक्शन से, इस चीज को आपको अच्छे से याद रखना है. फाइन. देन द टॉपिक्स दैट now this particular UGC-NET is liking to add in your exams are time, distance and speed, interest and discounts, profit and loss, and ratios. These are the, I cannot say that these are the new topics. These were definitely the topics that used to come in the exam earlier, but these are the topics जिसके ऊपर क्या हो रहा है, अभी भी एग्जामिनर क्या कर रहा है, क्वेश्चन ज्यादा डाल रहा है. फाइन. सो टाइम, डिस्टेंस एंड स्पीड में यू नीड टू कीप इन माइंड द फॉर्मूला कि भाई टाइम इज इक्वल टू व्हाट, डिस्टेंस इज इक्वल टू व्हाट, स्पीड इज इक्वल टू व्हाट. वहां पे आपको किलोमीटर पर आवर, मीटर पर सेकंड के अंदर जो आपके यूनिट्स होते हैं उनको आपको वहां पे ध्यान देना होता है. सो हाउ यू आर कन्वर्टिंग फ्रॉम मीटर टू किलोमीटर, किलोमीटर टू मीटर, या फिर उसके अंदर क्या सारे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, यू नीड टू प्रैक्टिस दोस क्वेश्चंस वेरी वेल. Then in the similar manner, interest and discounts is also very very important. Simple interest बोलो, compound interest बोलो. Questions usually क्या हो रहे हैं यहाँ पे कि भाई simple interest में if SI for this particular year was this much, then 10 years के बाद कितना होगा. Fine. So these type of questions have come up in the exam. Similar thing goes with your compound interest as well and discounts. Then profit loss में एक person अगर आज के डेट में इतना प्रॉफिट कमा रहा है, तो अगर वो इस रेट के बजाय किसी और रेट में देता है, if he sells his particular doll or if he sells his particular car for instead of 10,000 to 20,000, so what will be the loss margin that he will be facing? So these type of questions usually come in your exams as well. And averages topic is also important. Make sure कि आप averages को भी अच्छे से यहाँ पे solve करो. Averages के अंदर आपके पास एक छोटे-छोटे tricks होते हैं. You have got few of the small tricks. So if you understand those tricks, solving averages is very very easy because this thing will be helpful in your data interpretation. Now Venn diagrams के ऊपर usually we don't get lots of questions. Simple से आपको एक box and circles दिए जाएंगे, वहां पे relations पूछे जाते हैं. Usually you get some relationships over there. So when you understand those relationships, Venn diagram topic is also very very easy. Nothing too difficult questions come from this particular topic. Now as we have completed our first topic, that is mathematical reasoning, what all topics we have learnt over here, जो भी हमने last में topics को discuss किए, all these topics will be repeated in your data interpretation. Fine. Ma'am, could you please on the slide of data interpretation, just move forward. Yeah, fine. Now see, I have jumped to directly to data interpretation instead of logical reasoning because your mathematical reasoning and your data interpretation are connected to each other. Now when I say data interpretation, questions किस तरीके से आते हैं, you have got a particular description वाला question आता है, फिर you will be getting some charts. Either it might be in the format of table, or it might be in the form of pie chart, or in the format of bar graphs, or in the format of some other things. कुछ भी हो गया, क्या होता है, आपके पास कुछ data मिल जाती है. Fine. When you have got a raw data, with the help of that raw data, you have to understand that table, that chart, or you can say that diagram. So once you understand that diagram and the information that has been given over there, you will be easily able to solve all the questions. Now, the tricks to solve data interpretation questions. सबसे पहली बात, read the question very 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 carefully. Whether it is the tiniest thing, you have to read the question very carefully. Fine. Second thing, उसके अंदर units क्या दिए जाते हैं, that is also very very important. Now, when you start solving the questions for data interpretation, or when you are in the beginning stage, how to understand कि भाई data interpretation को solve कैसे करना है. In mathematical reasoning, I have already discussed few of the topics कि भाई fractions, percentages, averages, ratios, these are very very easy. These topics are very easy, but at the same time, these are very important towards the exam point of view. If you are good at these things, cubes, roots, addition, multiplication, इसमें अच्छे हो, तो data interpretation को solve करना भी easy है. Fine, because these form a base for this particular subject. Fine. If you know कि भाई averages के अंदर अगर मैं एक particular 10 numbers मेरे को दिए हुए, how to find the averages of 10 numbers in seconds. It will be easier for you guys कि भाई मैं exam के अंदर मेरे को time नहीं लगेगा कि एक particular question में मैं 10 मिनट कर रहा हूँ. If you are good at solving, then it will be easy for you to solve data interpretation questions within 10 seconds or within maximum to maximum 30 seconds. If you are good at those things itself. If not, then you will be having a lot of time to कि हाँ भाई हो जा रहा है मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा. Fine. Now, other than reading the questions, understanding the topics, when you start answering the questions, na, look at the options as well. कई बार क्या होता है, in the options itself, your answer is been hidden over there. Fine. You need to keep that thing as well in your mind. Now, when you are solving data interpretation questions, make sure that जो भी क्वेश्चंस आप सॉल्व कर रहे हो, ऐसे मत समझो कि भाई मेरे 5 के 5 क्वेश्चंस क्या यहाँ पे आज सॉल्व हो ही जाएंगे. Many times there are chances कि भाई 5 में से एक पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन ऐसा हो जिसको सॉल्व करने के लिए को काफी ज्यादा टाइम लगे या फिर समझ में ही नहीं है. So if you're stuck somewhere in data interpretation question at a particular question, just skip that particular question for a period of time. एक 10-15 मिनट के लिए उस क्वेश्चन को छोड़ देना, समझो क्वेश्चन को, read the question. If you're able to solve it for a minute or two. After 2 minutes, if it is extending कि नहीं भाई नहीं solve हो रहा है, so skip that particular question. Because from in data interpretation among 5, एक ऐसा question होता है कभी-कभी, not all the time. Sometimes there are chances that out of 5, one question is there which is very difficult. Yes.
Excuse me, Dolly ma'am. Can you be little slow on YouTube? It seems the voice is overlapping. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be slow. Yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. Now, what I was saying is, when you're solving data interpretation questions, if in a particular question you are struck for more than 2 minutes, just skip that particular question for a while. क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है कि डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन के अंदर ना कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आ जाते हैं जो बहुत ही ज्यादा टफ होते हैं, जिसको समझना फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम उस पर्टिकुलर सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में नहीं होता है हमको. तो उस टाइम के लिए एक ही क्वेश्चन होगा, ऐसे नहीं कि पांचों क्वेश्चंस को बैठ के स्किप करो. फाइन, उसको स्किप कर लो, आगे क्वेश्चन पे बढ़ो. फाइन. एंड 90% चांसेस रहते हैं कि जो आपके बचे हुए 4 क्वेश्चंस होते हैं वो आपके 30 सेकंड्स के अंदर सॉल्व हो जाए. दे आर नॉट डिफिकल्ट इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड देम. Fine, I'm repeating it again and again. If you're good at your mathematical operations, if you're good at cubes and square roots, if you're good at these topics like averages, time, distance and speed, ratio and proportions, and these fractions and percentages, if you're good at these, if you know how to convert percentage into fractions or percentage into numbers, it is very easy for you guys to solve them in the exam. Fine. So this was all about data interpretation. Data interpretation के अंदर होते क्या है, आपको tables दिए जाते हैं. Either you will be getting questions in the format of tables, जहाँ पे आपको years दिए जाते हैं, and some other data has been given. So based on that, you have to solve the questions. Then it might be some bar graphs, line charts, or pie charts, or some other formats. Diagrams will be there. So based on those diagrams or based on those data that they have been given, you have to solve it. कई बार ऐसे questions आते हैं exam के अंदर कि जहाँ पे आपको you will be getting the question, along with that you will be getting a particular formula as well. In the footnote ना आपका टेबल दिया जाता है, ऊपर क्या दिया जाता है, इंफॉर्मेशन दी जाती है, बट नीचे फुटनोट के अंदर ना यू विल बी गेटिंग सम फॉर्मूलाज एज वेल. सो फॉर्मूला बेस्ड डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन क्वेश्चंस भी आते हैं एग्जाम के अंदर. सो मेक श्योर कि उस फॉर्मूला को अंडरस्टैंड करो एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट फॉर्मूला हाउ यू विल बी सॉल्विंग, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सिमिलरली इन पाई चार्ट आल्सो you will be having a particular formula. So उस फॉर्मूला को लेके आप करोगे, एग्जाम में सॉल्व करोगे अगर पाई चार्ट का क्वेश्चन आता है. Am I clear with this thing? I just need to know in chat session, is there any doubt till now regarding mathematical reasoning and data interpretation? Any queries? So that we can move to the next topic, that is our logical reasoning. Anyone wants to ask anything? No, ma'am? Chalo. Shall we move forward? Now comes the major topic, which is logical reasoning. Now, logical reasoning carries minimum to 6 to 7 questions in your exam. Now, if you again understand the concepts of each and every topic that you have got, if you understand how to read them, how to solve the questions, I guarantee you that logical reasoning के अंदर जो 7 questions आते हैं, जो 6 questions आते हैं, you will not skip, you will not get any single question wrong. This is my guarantee from my side, from my past experience, from the past experience of my students as well. If you understand the topics, the concepts of logical reasoning, nobody can beat you in this particular topic, I would say. Now, if you look at the syllabus, there are lots of things that have been given. I have just break down them in a few things, how to start, from which topic to be started, from which topic to be read first, then which topic you have to read, then which topic you have to read, which are the important, which are non-important topics. I've just bifurcated them and I've presented you in this format. Sunita ma'am, I'm sorry that we will not be taking any examples or something right now. When you'll be starting our course, you will be getting full-fledged all the things. Okay. Definitely, I'll be explaining one or two of the examples I'll be giving in between for the logical reasoning, as you have said. Now see, when you're starting the topic of logical reasoning, first read argument क्या होता है. What is argument? You need to know. Okay, argument के अंदर क्या सारी चीजें आती है. You have got prepositions, you have got statements. Prepositions are nothing but the statements. Fine, you have got statements and the prepositions. Now, what does a statement or a preposition mean? You need to understand that thing. What does a conclusion or an inference mean? You need to understand that thing. इससे ज्यादा आपको कुछ नहीं समझना. Next topic, what you have to understand is you have got 4 different type of prepositions: A, E, I, and O. A stands for all, E stands for no, I stands for some, O stands for some not. You have got 4 different types of statements: all, no, some, and some not. 2 of them are universal, 2 of them are particular statements, 2 of them are positive statements, 2 of them are negative statements. So when you will be reading in detail, you can understand that these all belong to your categorical prepositions. ये सब कहाँ पे आते हैं? आपकी categorical and non-categorical prepositions के अंदर आते हैं. हम basically यहाँ पे सिर्फ category prepositions ही पढ़ते हैं. Fine. Now, when you understand कि A, E, I, O statements क्या होते हैं, इसके अंदर universal कौन सा है, particular कौन सा है, positive कौन सा है, negative कौन सा है, you have to understand who is distributed and who is undistributed over there. Why am I saying? Because exam के अंदर regarding to this topic itself, simple सी बात है कि कौन positive है, कौन negative है, कौन universal है, कौन particular है. उसके basis पे, on the basis of that, you will be understanding कि which is distributed and which is undistributed. So, based on this simple topic itself, exam के अंदर question आया है कि भाई A is distributed or undistributed statement. Though it was a bit lengthier question, I'm just giving you a simple question over there. इसके ऊपर भी क्या होता है, question exam के अंदर question आ सकता है. So you understand which is distributed and which is undistributed statement. Now, once you have known these things, the next topic that comes in, this is a basic thing that you have understood. You have to understand. ये सारी चीजें क्या है, basic है. Argument क्या है, structure of preposition क्या है, AEIO statements क्या है, उनका structure किस तरीके से होता है, कौन distributed, कौन undistributed. All these things are what? These are basics. Now, once you cover the basics, the next 3 topics which are based on these basics is syllogisms, square of opposition, and the new topic which is moods and figures. If you understand the basics, the 3 topics are very easy to understand. First comes our syllogisms. Now there are various methods to solve syllogisms questions. You have got various types, like या तो क्या कर सकते हो? You can use 150 rule, you can use Venn diagrams, or you can use simple the types of inferences का जो method होता है जहाँ पे हम लोग mediate and immediate statements को पढ़ते हैं, where you have got few simple rules. If you understand those rules, based on that rules क्या होते हैं, हम अपने statements को solve करते हैं. Now, what type of questions comes in syllogisms? You have got basically 2 statements. आपको 2 statements दी जाती है, जैसे कि A, all A are B, then you have got all B are C. These are 2 statements that you have got. Fine. Based on those statements, you will be getting few of the conclusions. A, B, C, 4 conclusions आपको दिए जाते हैं. You have to say which of them is true, which of them is not. कौन सा सही है, कौन सा गलत है, वो आपको वहाँ पे बताना होता है. Now, whenever you are solving syllogisms questions, keep in mind that all the 4 conclusions are 4 different questions. आपको हर एक conclusion को क्या करना है, यहाँ पे अलग अलग से treat करना है और हर एक को यहाँ पे examine करना है whether it is true or not. Fine. Now, how to solve this particular question? I have told you that we have got 150 rule. We have got the formula rules that I follow. That is the rules AEIO के जो rules होते हैं, based on that we solve. Immediate and immediate के rules होते हैं. And there is Venn diagram as well. So whichever method you follow, you can follow that particular method. No hard and fast. But the thing that we follow at Ascendance is the immediate and immediate rules. Because if you understand, starting में tough लगता है कि भाई बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, इसके अंदर इतने सारे rules है. But once you understand those rules, it will take a day of time. But once you understand them, then solving syllogisms question without using paper and pen is guaranteed from my side. क्योंकि Venn diagram में क्या होता है? Keep on drawing the circles. 150 में आप 150 लिखते बैठो. It is time consuming. But once you understand through the rules, it is very, very easy. Fine. Then we have got the next topic, which is square of opposition, where you have got contradictory, contrary, subcontrary, and subalteration. Basically, यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या करते हैं, यहाँ पे 4 diagram का chart बनाते हैं, like A, E, I, and O. We write it in the square format. Why it is called square opposition? Because we write these 4 statements in the format of square, where contradictory is between your opposites, A and O, E and I. इनके बीच में होता है. This is your contradictory. In the similar manner, contrary is between your ऊपर के अंदर जो होते हैं A and E, I and O. Fine. These kind of relationships are there over there. So again over here you have to understand the definitions. What is contradictory? what is contrary, what is subcontrary, what is subiteration. Please keep making the notes of these things. Keep making note of these things. Ki bhai, you have to understand the definitions. First of all, what is the relationship that is existing between them? Contrary का मतलब क्या होता है, सब कॉन्ट्ररी का मतलब होता है. एक बार मीनिंग समझ लिया ना, उसके बाद आपको क्या करना है, आपको अंडरस्टैंड करना है कि भाई क्या रिलेशनशिप इनके बीच में एग्जिस्ट करता है. लाइक इफ आई से कॉन्ट्ररी, आई टोल्ड यू दैट इट इज समथिंग व्हिच इज बिटवीन योर अपोजिट्स. वैसे कॉन्ट्ररी क्या होता है, इट इज समथिंग बिटवीन योर यूनिवर्सल स्टेटमेंट्स. सो यूनिवर्सल्स के बीच में क्या रिलेशनशिप है? कॉन्ट्ररी बेसिकली डिफाइंस दैट दे बोथ कैन नॉट बी ट्रू टुगेदर बट कैन बी फॉल्स. सो ये किस तरीके से होता है, क्या रिलेशनशिप होता है, ये ट्रू है तो ये फॉल्स है, ये चीज आपको अच्छे से अंडरस्टैंड करनी है. Fine. Then the third important thing is कि when the question arise in front of you, like if I say sum A or B, this particular statement is true. So which of the following statements will be false? So over there, if you understand all the four definitions, it will be easier for you guys to understand कि भाई ये true है तो ये false होगा, ये false है तो ये true होगा. The relationships goes on increasing over there. Fine. I know कि if you guys have at least solved one or two questions, if you understood the basics, you guys might have been into this thing कि भाई हाँ क्या होता है square of position करके. Fine. Now from this particular topic there are four different type of questions that might come. First I've told you definition. Second I've told you कि भाई क्या relationship exist करता है. Third is a practical question जहाँ पे आपको statement दी जाएगी और आपको बोलना है कि true है कि false है, ये false है कि true है. And fourth type is कि आपको statement दी जाएगी और आपको पूछा जाएगा कि which type of statement it is. Like you will be given two different statements. एक सम का स्टेटमेंट होगा और एक सम नॉट का स्टेटमेंट होगा. यू कैन टेक दिस थिंग एज एन एग्जांपल. सो सम एंड सम नॉट हैव अ रिलेशनशिप ऑफ व्हाट, ऑफ सब कॉन्ट्ररी. सो आपको सिंपली दिया जाएगा सम ए आर बी, सम ए आर नॉट बी. So these are the two statements. So what is the relationship between these two statements? There is a subcontrary relationship that exists between them, because subcontrary is something wherein the relationship exists between the particulars. That is sum वाले statements होते हैं ना, उनके बीच में क्या होता है, relationship होता है. So this is the thing that comes in your square of opposition. Four different type of questions, and there are chances that from this particular topic दो questions एक ही साथ आपको आ जाए. फाइन. हो सकता है डेफिनेशन का क्वेश्चन आ जाए और दूसरा क्वेश्चन आपको रिलेशनशिप वाला या कोई भी प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन आपको आ जाए. क्लियर? देन Geeta, could you move to the next slide please? Then we have got the topic of moods and figures that we have got on the first. यहाँ पे क्या होता है, you have got conditional and non conditional arguments. यहाँ पे आपको बोलिंग के कुछ 18 to 27 के ये आते हैं, अलग अलग वैलिड आर्ग्यूमेंट्स आते हैं. सो व्हाट यू हैव टू मेक श्योर कि यहाँ पे वैलिड आर्ग्यूमेंट्स कौन से हैं और वैलिड आर्ग्यूमेंट्स कौन से नहीं है, वो आपको यहाँ पे अच्छे से अंडरस्टैंड करना होता है. फाइन. ओवर हियर यू हैव गॉट फ्यू ऑफ द वैलिड स्टेटमेंट्स, फ्यू ऑफ नॉन वैलिड स्टेटमेंट्स. यहाँ पे आपके पास बुलियन का एक क्या आता है, चार्ट आता है. उस चार्ट को आपको अंडरस्टैंड करना है. वैलिड स्टेटमेंट कौन से होता है, नॉन वैलिड स्टेटमेंट कौन से होते हैं, वो अंडरस्टैंड करना होता है. फर्स्ट थिंग. देन व्हाट एक्चुअली इज moods and figures? Moods and figures is nothing but wherein you will be having the mood, nothing but the prepositions that we have got. A, E, I, O जो हमारे 4 statements है, यही 4 statements क्या करते हैं, हमारे mood को यहाँ पे define करते हैं. Basically over here you have got 3 different statements. first 2 आपके statements होते हैं और third वाला हमेशा क्या होता है, आपका inference होता है या फिर आपका conclusion होता है. Repeating it again, moods and figures के अंदर आपको सिर्फ और सिर्फ 3 statements आती है. Basically in moods and figures you get basically only 3 statements, from which 2 of them are your statements, that is prepositions, and third one is your conclusion. Now what you need to do in moods and figures is, first thing you have to write the mood of all the 3 statements. अगर पहला स्टेटमेंट ऑल है तो यू विल राइट ए. सेकंड स्टेटमेंट अगर सम नॉट है तो आप लिख लोगे वहां पे ओ, और थर्ड स्टेटमेंट अगर सम है तो आप लिख लोगे आई. तो ए ओ आई क्या होगा, मेरा मूड हो गया. देन डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर मिडिल वर्ड, दैट इज अ कॉमन फिगर दैट यू हैव गॉट बिटवीन बोथ द स्टेटमेंट्स, उसके बेसिस पे क्या होता है, आपका फिगर डिसाइड होता है. वेदर इट इज इन स्ट्रेट फॉर्मेट, डायगोनल है, इस डायगोनल में इस तरफ है, कहां पे, बेस्ड ऑन योर मिडिल टर्म व्हाट हैपेंस इज योर फिगर गेट्स डिसाइडेड ओवर देयर. फाइन. दिस इज द सेकंड थिंग. Then the third important thing is you have to understand what is the standard format of your moods and figures. Moods and figures का एक standard form होता है कि भाई जो आपका मिडिल वर्ड होता है, मिडिल टर्म जो होता है वो क्या होता है, आपके दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स के अंदर आना चाहिए, वो कंक्लूजन के अंदर प्रेजेंट नहीं होता है. In a similar way, the major term has to be present in the as a subject of the first as a subject of your conclusion, and it needs to be present in the first statement. So sorry, it is the the predicate of your conclusion, and it needs to be present in the first statement. एंड सिमिलरली आपका जो माइनर टर्म होता है वो आपका सब्जेक्ट होता है एंड इट नीड्स टू बी प्रेजेंट इन द सेकंड स्टेटमेंट. सो ये जो आपका स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट होता है, द क्वेश्चन नीड्स टू बी इन द स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट. इफ इट इज नॉट इन द स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट, इट इज नॉट योर मूड एंड फिगर. सो मेक श्योर करो कि स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म क्या होता है वो अच्छे से यहाँ पे अंडरस्टैंड करो. Then based on all these things you have to understand, look at that particular chart में देखना है कि भाई ये चीज valid होती है कि invalid होती है, and you have to write it as valid or invalid. Clear? Though it might be looking lengthier process, but it is very simple once you understand that. Fine. Give them the previous slide, please. Yeah. Then comes one more major topic, which is inductive and deductive reasoning. What is inductive reasoning? What is deductive reasoning? इसके अंदर valid कौन होता है, invalid कौन होता है, इसके अंदर भी काफी सारे आपके पास types आते हैं. You get few of the types, so understand those types. Understand the meaning. Ma'am, please repeat it once again. Ankit, is it Ankit? Ankit, what do you want me to repeat about moods and figures or about inductive deductive? What do you want me to repeat? I suppose it's about inductive and deductive. So you have got two types, inductive and deductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning, you have to understand the definitions of these. When are these valid? When are these not valid? Again, over here is very, very important. Now, from this particular topic, what type of questions have come up in the exams is about data interpretation. Data interpretation we have already covered long back, dear. If you have got any doubt, we will be covering at the end of the session, okay? Yeah. Now see, inductive and deductive के अंदर क्या होता है? Again, you have to understand the definitions. Over here, you have to understand what is valid and what is not valid statement. What type of question has come up in the exam is you will be getting a particular statement, or you will be getting 4 to 5 statements. Over there, you have to make out कि भाई कौन सा particular statement inductive के हिसाब से true है, कौन सा इसके हिसाब से false है. Fine. Again, this is one of the major topic. Though इसके अंदर सिर्फ और सिर्फ theory आता है, आपको उस थ्योरी को अच्छे से अंडरस्टैंड करना है, कॉन्सेप्ट को अच्छे से अंडरस्टैंड करना है. नो प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक, ओनली यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द थ्योरी. वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड दोस कि इंडक्टिव क्या है, डिडक्टिव क्या है, टेक 3 to 4 hours एंड इट इज डन. फाइन. एग्जाम के अंदर क्वेश्चंस मेक श्योर कि इस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक से ना प्रीवियस ईयर को उठा के आप अच्छे से पढ़ लोगे, सो दैट यू हैव एन आइडिया कि क्या टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आ चुके हैं एग्जाम के अंदर. फाइन. Then we have got the simple topic of types of definitions and connotative and denotative definitions, meanings. Sorry. Definitions के अंदर we have got lexical definitions, speculative definitions, and few of the theoretical definitions. इसे 5 to 6 types के definitions आपको आ जाते हैं. Just understand the meaning of them. Just go through few of the examples and you're done. Not a major topic. Connotation and denotation के अंदर भी आपके पास सेम ही चीज से आती है. Definition के 2 different types होते हैं basically है. So connotation क्या होता है, denotation क्या होता है? Denotation is basically the proper meaning of a particular word. कोई भी word है उसका dictionary meaning को हम लोग denotation बोलते हैं. Fine. Connotation is the connecting words. Like if I say bird, bird is very sweet, bird is very like I say it is a symbol of peace or something. If I'm saying these words usually not seen in the dictionary. Fine. So when you are adding your feelings or your emotions in that particular meaning of that particular word, then it is connotation. Fine. Then we have got denotation, which is the proper definition of a particular meaning. Nothing major. You have to just go through the basics of this particular topic. Next slide, please. Yeah. Then we have got 2 major topics, which are fallacies and Indian logic, which has been newly added by NTA. Moods and figures तो हमने समझ लिया, which is newly added. Other than this, we have got fallacies and its types and Indian logic. Now, what is fallacies? Fallacies is nothing but the argument के अंदर जो भी हम लोग गलती करते, the mistakes that you follow in your argument. What all arguments we read till now, उन arguments के अंदर आपको कहीं पर भी अगर mistake दिखती है, तो that particular thing is called as fallacy. Now, fallacy, under fallacy, we have got 2 different types, formal and informal fallacy. Formal fallacy is something which is visible to us, which is easy to understand, which is usually not committed intentionally, you can say. Fine. जो हमने arguments पढ़े, arguments के अंदर मैंने क्या बोला कि we have got a standard format over there. So if you're not following that particular standard format, it is simple that you're committing a mistake, right? So when you're committing a mistake regarding to the structure of a particular argument, it is your formal fallacy, which is easy to understand. You know the rules कि भाई standard form का rule क्या है. You see the argument. ये इस तरीके से नहीं है, major term and minor term are not in the right position. So you can come to know from the आर्ग्यूमेंट फ्रॉम द क्वेश्चन इटसेल्फ कि भाई ये क्या है, गलत है. फाइन. फॉर्मल आर्ग्यूमेंट इज वेरी सिंपल, you can easily identify that particular thing. But when you come to informal fallacy is something which is committed, not, you can not say we are committing it intentionally or non-intentionally, but it is something which is related to the meaning of that particular argument. जब हम लोग अभी तक का जितना भी हमने टॉपिक्स पढ़ा ना, इसके अंदर हम लोग कहीं पर भी ये नहीं देखते कि भाई इसके अंदर मीनिंग क्या है. यूजुअली क्वेश्चंस क्या होते हैं, ऑल बॉल्स आर बैट्स, ऑल कैट्स आर डॉग्स. अगर हम लोग इसकी मीनिंग पे जाए तो क्या सच में कैट्स डॉग्स होते हैं, डॉग्स कैट्स होते हैं? नहीं. Over here we don't see the meaning. But when we come to the informal fallacy, na, this is something which is related to your and my life. In our daily lives, we usually commit few of the mistakes when we are arguing with someone. When you're discussing with someone, there are few of the mistakes that we usually do. So those kind of mistakes, but what we do in our real life regarding to a particular argument comes under your informal fallacies. So informal fallacies के अंदर you have got four or five major types. उसके अंदर आपके पास कुछ और types भी आते हैं. Fine. So understanding all the types is very, very important. Why? Towards your exam point of view. Second, towards your life as well. If you understand all these types now, you will come to know that how a particular person or how a particular, you can say, speaker is trying to manipulate the audience. So informal fallacy, a major topic that you have to read compulsorily towards your exam point of view, though this is also helpful in your real life as well. Fine. Then comes our next important topic, which is Indian logic. A very, very important topic, a topic that you can say that most of the students skip in the exam, what I have seen till now. Usually kya Indian logic ke andar there are words which are related to Sanskrit that comes up. You have got basically 6 pramanas. You have got pratyaksha, anumana, anuplabdhi, upamana, shabda, etc. So there are 6 pramanas that you need to understand. Pratyaksha is something which is related to your perceptions, all the things. Now see, what does pramana actually mean? I would like to make this particular simple thing clear to you guys. Given Indian logic, why has NTA added this particular topic to you guys? इसकी जरूरत क्या है? Basically, till now whatever we have learned all these things about the Western logic. कि भाई वेस्टर्न के अंदर क्या सारी चीजें होती है, उसके अंदर आर्ग्यूमेंट क्या होता है, मिडिल मेजर माइनर टर्म क्या होता है, we understood all these things. बट इंडिया के अंदर किस तरीके से आर्ग्यूमेंट्स को डिफाइन किया गया है, how do we actually acquire these knowledge and everything, that thing we have to understand and we need to inculcate in our lives, and therefore this particular topic has been added. What is pramana? Pramana is nothing, it's very simple, it's a mean of knowledge, it's a source of knowledge. हम लोग नॉलेज कहाँ से एक्वायर करते हैं, इस चीज को अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए क्या होता है, हमारे पास प्रमाना होता है. We have got pramana to understand from where do we actually acquire the knowledge. There are 6 basic pramanas that most of the school of thoughts accept. First, you have got pratyaksha, which says कि भाई excuse me, which says भाई कि भाई हमारे जो इंद्रियां होती है, the 5 senses that we have got, these sense organs help me to understand, to acquire the knowledge. I see something, I acquire knowledge. I speak something, I acquire knowledge. I hear something, I acquire knowledge. So with these external and internal perceptions or these sense organs, what all knowledge I acquire, that comes under my pratyaksha. Then comes anumana, which is pre-existing knowledge. In a similar manner, we have got upamana, anuplabdhi, shabda, etc. So how we learn प्रत्यक्ष, उसी तरीके से आप क्या करोगे, इन 6 प्रमाणास को धीरे धीरे पढ़ोगे, किस तरीके से आप नॉलेज को एक्वायर करोगे, वो चीज आप यहाँ पे अंडरस्टैंड करोगे. Fine. Again, from these topics, from Indian logic, what things you have to grab? First thing, सारे 6 प्रमाणास की basic meanings को understand करो. Fine. Second thing, under each and every topic, you will be getting few of the types, or you will be getting few of the Sanskrit words, few new words you will be understanding. एक major terms होते हैं, उनको आपको understand करना है. You have to keep those things in the mind. Like in a pratyaksha, you can say you got sarvikalpa, nirvikalpa. So these kind of words you will be coming across. So keep in mind, make a note of those things, and उसको रोज के रोज थोड़ा-थोड़ा पढ़ते जाओ. Indian logic ऐसा टॉपिक नहीं कि भाई आपने 2-3 घंटे बैठ के पढ़े खत्म हो गया. No, it is a bit vast topic, but if you read, if you have got definitely got a span of time to study for your exam, so धीरे धीरे करके क्या करो, एक प्रमाण को पढ़ते जाओ. So it will be easier for you कि भाई at the end of the exam, it is very easy कि आप आराम से उसको पार कर लोगे. Fine. Then all the 4 प्रमाणास, 6 प्रमाणास के अंदर जो भी उनके मीनिंग, उनके संस्कृत ट्रांसलेशंस, उनके अंदर टाइप्स जो आते हैं, उसको अच्छे से पढ़ना है. Then the second pramana that we have got, that is anumana. This is very, very important. Now, what is anumana? Anumana is something which is pre-existing knowledge. Now, जैसे हमने fallacies western logic के अंदर पढ़े formal and informal, उसी तरीके से we have got anumana के अंदर हेत्वाभाषस. Like if you're reading over there, it is Anumana, inference and its types. Now its types का मतलब यहाँ पे क्या आता है आपका हेत्वाभाषा आता है. हेत्वाभाषा is nothing but the fallacies that we see or that we come across in our Indian logic. Now under हेत्वाभाषा we have got again 5 to 6 types. Those 6 types or 5 types you have to understand क्या सारी चीजें होती है. As in Western logic, under Indian logic we have got our major term, minor term and middle term, which are represented as linga and some other terminologies. So you have to understand those Sanskrit translations as well. Clear? So make sure that everything that you learn under Indian logic will not be covered in one day. You have to gradually read all the topics, go one by one, and you have to understand them. Now 1 or 2 questions might come up कि Indian logic में से थोड़ी अलग-अलग चीजें भी आ जाती है, कुछ out of the box questions भी आ जाते हैं. If you are good at psychology and everything, you will be easily answering them. If not, you can just skip that particular question as well. Fine. Now all the topics that comes under logical reasoning, I'm again repeating it. If you understand the concepts, all the 6 to 7 questions are very easy to solve. There is nothing to worry. It is very easy if you understand the concept. That's it, I would say. Fine. And when it comes to mathematical and data interpretation, it is very simple कि आपको बस उनकी concepts को understand करना है. Questions को जितना पास solve करते जाओगे, जितना practice करोगे, there is only one keyword I would say for mathematical and logical and for all 3 topics I would say. Consistency is very important. Practicing the understanding the concepts and then practicing lot questions is very important. The more questions you practice, the more you understand that particular topic. That topic goes in your blood, I would say. Fine. If you keep on solving those questions, हाँ भाई एक point ऐसे आ जाता है that आप आँख बंद करके भी क्या कर सकते हो, उन चीजों को वहाँ पे solve कर सकते हो. Fine. I hope till now all the topics are clear. Most welcome, Ankit. So with data interpretation, Ankit, as you had asked you, nothing to worry. If you understand all the mathematical operations, जो भी मैंने topics discuss किए हुए, उन topics को अच्छे से पढ़ लो, उन topics को practice करो, and then come up with the previous year questions. I would not say कि आप अगर आपके पास टाइम कम है, you don't have time कि मेरे को बहुत सारी चीजें पढ़नी है, पेपर 2 भी पढ़ना है, पेपर 1 के बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स मुझे पढ़ने हैं, मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है कि I don't have so much of time कि I keep on solving hundreds of questions. If you don't have so much of time, at least make sure you solve few basic questions and then come up to your previous year questions. Previous year का एक भी question miss मत करो, whether it is DI, whether it is mathematical, whether it is logical, or you can say whether it is any other topic as well. If you solve previous year questions also, it's very fine. उतना भी solve कर लोगे. If it is a shortage of time only, I would suggest only this if you have a shortage of time. If you solve previous year each and every question, it's a guarantee कि आप आराम से क्या कर लोगे, इन तीनों topics को या कोई भी topic को अच्छे से solve कर लोगे. Fine, because you get an idea कि क्या सारे questions किस particular topic से questions ज्यादा आ रहे हैं, तो मैं वहां पे ज्यादा concentrate करूँ. Fine. So this was end of the session from my side of these 3 topics which are very important towards your exam point of view. Now I would hand over the session to Geeta ma'am, who will be covering all the other topics. Is there any doubt regarding these 3 sessions till now? In 3 topics related, anyone wants to ask anything? Any doubts?
Okay, thank you, Dolly ma'am, for giving this detailed information on 3 units, which are really very important. And I would just say that these are very scoring units as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a practical subject. So those who are very good at practicals, they can really score well for this unit. So now I continue my session. Just give me a moment. I'll start sharing.
Yeah.
Just a second.
What would be the marks for the weightage of 3 units? As by NT usually क्या होता है, हर एक unit से आपको 5 questions तो definite आते ही आते हैं. So other than 5, more than 5 also you can get, less than 5 तो कभी आता नहीं. Minimum to minimum you will be getting 5 questions, I would say. Someone has asked what is the weightage of these particular topics. So it is at least minimum 5 questions, I would say, from each and every topic. More data interpretation से तो आपको more than 5 नहीं आता है. But from logical reasoning, from mathematical reasoning, there are chances कि 1-2 questions extra आ जाए, और in any one topic की एक topic कम भी आ सकता है, वो ऐसे भी possibility है. Ma'am, data interpretation we solved previous year and more sorry, are you asking or are you saying this thing, Pooja? from data interpretation, we solve from previous year or more. If you if you know the basics of maths na, and you solve only previous year, that's also fine for now. कि भाई एक महीने के अंदर एग्जाम में मेरे को ज्यादा टाइम नहीं है, आप सिर्फ प्रीवियस ईयर को भी सॉल्व कर लगे ना, that's fine. If you want to solve more questions, it's fine. It's also a good thing that I would say. But if you solve only previous year, then also it's fine. बहुत ज्यादा इतना ये नहीं है कि नहीं previous year solve कर लिया, उसके बाद मेरे को और 20-25 क्वेश्चन solve करने मिलेंगे. No. For now, for the shortage, time shortage है, तो सिर्फ previous year solve करो. Hey time, तो definitely each and every day if you keep on solving one data interpretation question, na, that would be a boon for you, I would say. Daily before sleeping, if you solve like one particular question from any website, if you pick up one particular question na, and before sleeping, if you solve that thing, it would be very helpful. Sorry ma'am, different from this topic question. KEC improve, कैसे improve करें? Spoken English you are asking. Where to find the past year? For past year questions, you have got lots of websites, I would say. And I would Geeta ma'am will definitely let you know कि previous year का एक particular book है जहाँ पे आपको मिल जाएगा, जहाँ पे सारे questions you will be getting in one particular spot. She will be letting you know about that particular book. So you can just download that particular book and you will be easy to solve. Ma'am, I have qualified. What is the scope of NET, ma'am? That will be discussed in the later part of the session. Could you suggest the concepts? Okay, ma'am, I know. So all these, the basic queries that you have got, these will be discussed at the end of the session once the syllabus is being completed. Okay? कि भाई eligibility वगैरह क्या होती है ना? These things will be covered later on.
Okay.
You have to set questions only if you're appearing for set exam. That's okay if you solve them. For net exam, you need not कि भाई set के सारे questions बैठ के solve करो. If you have time, if you have those question papers in front of you, if you solve, it will be a better, it will be a helpful thing for you guys. If you solve set questions as well. But अब एक particular set के लिए appear करे तो definitely कि उस set के questions आपको solve करने ही पड़ेंगे उस time पे. Yeah, over to you, Geeta ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Dolly ma'am. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Dolly ma'am, and myself, Professor Geeta Bhatia. I'm going to continue. There are certain basic things which you people are having the inquiry, and you can just a second. Just a second. Just a second. Yes. So there are some basic queries the students are having about the eligibility. So let me begin. The eligibility for this particular exam is the person has to be a postgraduate. When I say postgraduate, means they can be postgraduate in any subject. And even another one like your, even MBA is considered to be a postgraduate degree. And even CA, Chartered Accountant, Company Secretary. Now the UGC has said that even these professional degrees are considered to be the postgraduate degree. So such students can also appear for this exam. There is no limit on the number of attempts the person can do. And this exam is usually conducted twice in a year, but due to COVID-19, the schedule has been, postponed each time. But definitely one exam is going to be there. And it is an online exam, which is conducted for 3 hours of time. And paper 1 is general. When I say general means every student who is appearing for NET-CET exam, they will have to appear for paper 1. And paper 2 is the master specialization. Now, when I say master specialization means, suppose if I have done MCom, so commerce is my specialization. If I have done MA in Hindi, MA in economics, so that is my specialization. So when you're filling the form, you have to fill according to your specialization, right? And you have got paper 1, which carries your 100 marks, no negative marking in both the papers, 50 questions, 2 marks each. That is paper 1. And paper 2 carries your 200 marks, which is again having 100 questions and which carries 2 marks each, and all are compulsory. There is no option in the questions. All questions are compulsory. Then qualifying this exam is based on the cutoff, which is like, which keeps on changing in every attempt. Nowadays, it is being seen, the trend is like the score, the cutoff is decreasing. Why the cutoff is decreasing? Maybe because of the number of students who are appearing, because the cutoff score, it has a statistical formula, it has a calculation. Based on that calculation, the cutoff is decided. But you have to keep a target that minimum 60%, minimum. When I talk about commerce and management, see, there are certain subjects where cutoff goes higher than 62, 65 as well. But if you people are having commerce and management, minimum you should keep a target of 60%. Okay, so that is one thing. And you always you all know that there is something called as net and there is something called as GRF. And if you want more details on it, you can always read on website. There is no limit on attempts as well. That was the basic information. Now I would like to discuss about the paper 1 syllabus. Some students were asking about, ma'am, please talk about the units. Now overall there are 10 units. Okay, but practically if you consider, you have to put in hard efforts for 9 units only. Why? Because 1 unit is a simple comprehension. Comprehension means an unseen passage. Now what do you have to study for this? You don't have to study anything for this, right? But for 9 units you have to study. Don't assume that it is a general paper. ये ऐसा ये करंट अफेयर वाला पेपर है, ये सोच के तो कभी जाना ही नहीं. You have to study for this paper. Okay, so unit 1 is all about teaching aptitude, research aptitude, second unit. Okay, then is your comprehension, which is like an unseen passage. Then communication is a subject. Then 5th unit is mathematical, which is already discussed, logical reasoning and DI. Okay, and there is another unit number 8, that is ICT, information communication and technology. And the 9th one is people development and environment, and the last one is the higher education. Now before I proceed, okay, let me be clear with you people that compulsorily 5 questions are going to be there in your exam from data interpretation. 5 questions are going to be there compulsory from comprehension. Now in unseen passage, I hope everybody, whether आप English पढ़ते हो, हिंदी पढ़ते हो, so we can, we are good enough to read the passage and solve the answers. So you have to keep a target that, okay, भाई 5 में से मेरे कम से कम 3 या 4 question तो right जाना ही चाहिए. Okay, then here when I talk about data interpretation, 5 questions में से 5 ही difficult नहीं होते. कम से कम 3 तो बहुत ही basic होते हैं. जिनको मैथ्स आता है वो लोग इजीली सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. So remaining 2 questions है, for that you will have to solve the complex questions. So compulsory, like if you are good at these 2 things, आराम से आप लोग के 6-7 questions correct हो सकते हैं. And दो UGC ने बोला है, NTA ने CBSE कभी लिया था, they said that from every unit compulsory 5 questions will be asked, but that pattern is not being followed. Okay, only the pattern which is followed, comprehension में 5 compulsory, data interpretation में 5 compulsory, बाकी 8 units में से कुछ भी 5 compulsory नहीं आ रहा है. You have, if you see the previous year papers, you will find okay, teaching aptitude say minimum 4-5 questions, research aptitude, it depends on paper setter, it depends upon the examination, it depends upon each year how many questions, minimum 3-4 will be there. Okay, sometimes they may give more weightage to some particular subjects as well. It has been observed that many questions are being asked from logical reasoning. You just can't skip this topic, not at all. It has been observed that they give less weightage to higher education, right? Less weightage to communication. It is just the trend I'm telling you, right? So that is not the case that every unit will carry 5 questions, right? So that was the basic of the syllabus. Now coming to the teaching aptitude. Now this teaching aptitude, those students, those who have done their B.Ed course or those who have done their D.Ed course, for those students, this subject is actually a very easy subject because उन्होंने ये सारी चीजें अपने teaching में पढ़ी है, B.Ed और D.Ed में. Right now here we need to know, right? See, this all syllabus is written in the syllabus paper, which you all might be having. But what we need to understand is that what kind of questions are coming, and that we can come to know only by solving previous year papers, nothing else. You may be knowing so much about the content, but if you don't know how the question is asked, you really cannot go through with that answer or the question. So the very first thing is we need to know the basic terms ki teaching kya hota hai, learning kya hota hai, education kya hota hai, training kya hota hai. Like, you need to know the basic differences between teaching, learning, right? And it is not compulsory that teacher is teaching and the student is learning. It is not compulsory. आज मैं 50 बच्चों को पढ़ा रही हूँ, it is not necessary that all 50 are going to qualify the exam. So teaching is not equals to learning. So sometimes, they ask you the basic application question. What is the particular difference between teaching and learning? What are the characteristics? Then what are the various factors which affect the teaching learning process? How teaching is different from learning, how learning is different. Learning means change in behavior. If there is no change in behavior, there is no learning, right? Then what are the qualities the teacher should have? Okay, to be an effective teacher, what are good qualities? So these are, iska hai na koi ek straightforward answer nahi hai, because these are all application questions. These are subjective. For me, a strict teacher, I mean, being strict is a good quality, but aapke liye shayad wo good quality nahi hogi. So these type of questions are subjective. They depend upon the individual perception, but there is always a correct answer, right? Then comes to philosophies in education. There are various types of philosophies, that is pragmatism, naturalism, and that way many are there. So this is again a philosophy. You will have to study that what are the philosophical approaches which are used in education. Then there are different forms of education. Now, when I say forms, means it is nothing but the types of education. There is a formal education, technical education, informal, non-formal. So what are the types? Unke beech mein differences kya hai? They might give you a statement and they will ask you, okay, tell us which is this type of education. They might give you or match the following, and wahan pe aapko they will give you the example like, okay, distance education, whether it is formal, non-formal, semi-formal, what it is. Okay. Then there can be college education. So you need to know if inke meaning kya hote hain aur unke examples kya hai. So you can easily crack the question. Then comes to objectives of teaching. It's a very important topic. If you must have read the questions of previous year, you will find there is always a question being asked on objectives of teaching. So ye ek hierarchy hai. There are 3 types of objectives that I remember it as a CAP. Okay, CAP is nothing but cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So these are the 3 objectives of teaching. And ये objectives of teaching के अंदर ये ब्लूम की taxonomy है, उसके अंदर एक hierarchy है. So you need to know the hierarchy of the particular objectives which are there in these 3 types. Okay. Then there are different levels of teaching. So levels of teaching, you need to know that who is the founder of this particular level. Now, when I say level of teaching, there are basic 3 levels of teaching. Okay. One is called as the memory level, another is understanding level, and the third one is the reflective level. तो आपको इनके features पता होना चाहिए कि memory का feature क्या है और उसके बाद reflective का feature क्या है, which is the highest one. Okay, if I have to reach to this level, I have to cross all these levels, then only I can go to reflective. So there is a detailed study you need to know. It's not like ratta maru, but it is an understanding. Okay. Then there are different teaching models which are being used by the teacher in the class. Then there is maxims of teaching, as rightly said by Dolly ma'am about inductive to deductive. So that way there are many: simple to complex, whole to part, part to whole, concrete to abstract, abstract to concrete. So ये सब आपको पता होना चाहिए. You need to know then what are the various principles. अभी principles of teaching में one are general principles and another one are very specific principles which the teacher needs to follow. कि अगर मैं एक क्लास में पढ़ा रही हूँ तो छोटे बच्चों को मैं अलग तरीके से पढ़ाऊंगी, बड़ों को अलग से पढ़ाऊंगी. So that's a principle. Principle is nothing but a kind of, you can say, the rules. These are not the Hitler rules, but there are certain things which we need to follow. Okay, so that we need to know about it. Then coming to the next one is the methods of teaching. Now, when I say methods of teaching, we have got basically 4 methods. Okay, one is teacher-centered, learner-centered. Okay, offline and online. ये तो बहुत ही simple है, but some application-based questions are being asked. Now, teacher and learner-centered means what? Teacher means where the teacher plays an important role. Learner means where the learner plays an important. तो आपको ये समझना है. Suppose मैं अगर बोलती हूँ कि lecture method. Okay. Now, lecture method comes under which category? I should know. Okay. I'm just giving you a simple example because lecture is a teacher based method where teacher is playing the important role. But when I say problem solving, I am giving a problem to the student and they have to solve, where the student is playing an important role to learn. He is more responsible of his own learning. So you need to know the different methods. There are many methods. Lecture and problem solving, तो मैंने just एक example दिया. There is demonstration method. There are many methods. You need to know the basics of these methods. Then online and offline, this is very simple to understand. Then again, this topic is like overlapping. This topic you have in your ICT, this you have in your higher education as well. So there are various ICT based teaching methods or the facilities which are being introduced by the government of India that we need to know into detail. 100% there will be one question from this topic. कि MOOC क्या होता है, उसका full form. See, mainly na in this you need to know the full forms and you need to know the objectives or you need to know the aims, one and the same. कि ये आखिर क्यों बनाया है गवर्नमेंट ने, किसके लिए बनाया है, इसका पर्पस क्या है, इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है. Okay, so that you need to know. There are many that way. Then comes to learners characteristic. 100% I have seen always a question on these topics, that what are the characteristics of learner. Like आज मैं सबको पढ़ा रही हूँ, suppose if there are 85 people sitting here, okay, excluding me 84, suppose there are students, right? So what are like 84, out of these 84, it is not necessary that all must be understanding what I'm trying to say. Okay, person A, person B, they learn differently. Why individuals learn differently? What are the individual differences? Why there are individual differences? Individual differences means no two people can be similar. Okay, even the twins, they look alike, but they are in as compared to their physical body, emotional thinking, and even their intellectuals, they can never be similar. They are based on various factors. So that we need to know that what are the various factors which affect the learning, which affect the learner's learning, right? Then comes to teachers. Like here we had Dolly ma'am, you have Geeta. Both are teachers. You might feel okay, both are good, both are giving us knowledge, but there is individual difference of delivery by Dolly ma'am and delivery by Geeta Bhatia. So what are those characteristics? How are we different? Like, you know, subject knowledge, then punctuality, and many simple examples. So there are various characteristics which one teacher's teaching makes another teacher's teaching different from each other. So how they are different from each other, that we need to understand. And what are the factors which affect the teacher's teaching and the learner's learning. Then factors affecting teaching learning, 100% there will be questions. ये बहुत ही simple होता है solve करना, but provided you know you need to have those tricks how to solve these questions. Then this is like classroom interaction, ki how a particular teacher should interact in the class. Okay, what are the teachers' action, how they play an important role. Then comes to evaluation and its types. 100% I am telling you, there will be a question. There are different types of evaluation. If I talk about, okay, one is formative, another one is summative. These are the main two. Okay, then there is diagnostic, then there is a placement evaluation. Mainly these are four. So formative, या इन दोनों में ना सिर्फ दो ही डिफरेंस, एक ही डिफरेंस है. One is something which is ongoing, one is like forming, चलते आ रहा है, जो चल रहा है, something which is ongoing. Okay, so something which is like during, चलते जा रहा है. Summative, समेटना, हिंदी में हम बोलते हैं ना समेटना, summary इंग्लिश में हम बोलते हैं. So summary is like at the end. So in the exam they give you a statement and they ask you whether this type of evaluation is formative or summative. So this is the only difference. But थोड़ा घुमा फिरा के वो लोग पूछ लेते हैं, but you need to know in very detail. Then the moment you see the word diagnostic, आपको पता होना चाहिए diagnostic is the evaluation which is mainly done to understand the strengths and the weaknesses, or you can call it as like problems, or you can consider it as difficulties which the student is facing while teaching learning. So teacher wants to understand कि ये student के क्या problems हैं, learning difficulties हैं. And placement का, you know, it is like an entrance exam. Okay, So there are different types, and there is something called as norm reference criterion, and there is a criterion reference, norm reference evaluation and criterion reference evaluation. So these are the two other types also which are being asked these days in exam. So 100% you need to learn about this particular topic. Then coming to the next one is research aptitude. That is again a very, very important topic. Okay. Now, here we need to know that what is the basic meaning of research. Okay. And what are the features of research, and what are the various objectives of research? Why research is to be carried out? So they will ask you little lengthy question on this. They will ask you, okay, which of the following are objectives? Maybe a positive question or maybe a negative question. So for this, you will have to study. Okay, then comes to the various approaches to research. Now, the way, I mean, I also conduct research, you also conduct the research. But what is the approach we are using? How are we beginning? Whether it is inductive, deductive, inductive, and there are various approaches, right? Qualitative, positivism, this, that, many are there, right? Then comes to steps of research. Very, very important. 100% there is going to be the question from this particular topic. You need not to ratify this topic, but आप लोगों को एक understanding होनी चाहिए. Now the simple example, if I would say, one is like statement of problem, which is called as SOP. Okay. Another one is hypothesis. Then there is like, for example, data collection. Okay. Then there is data analysis, report writing, and all that. Okay. Report, conclusion, then DI. So these are the certain steps. Once you know कि research को कैसे conduct किया जाता है, you need to understand logically. इसको हम रट्टा मारेंगे तो कभी भी ये आंसर याद नहीं होगा. Okay, so we need to understand the sequence, that how exactly the research has to be or is conducted. So accordingly, you can solve the particular question. Then comes to the types of research. Very, very important question. Very important. 100% again, I'm telling you. When I'm saying 100% means, I am sure only by referring the past 10 years papers. Okay, because it is very important for all the aspirants to solve previous 10 years question. If you don't have sufficient time for 10 years, minimum 5 years, you will have to solve. There is no escapism. There is really no escapism. आप इनसे भाग नहीं सकते हो paper solve, right? Then comes to hypothesis and its types. Very simple to understand. कि hypothesis का meaning क्या होता है? It is an assumed proposition, this, that, and all. So you need to know the basic. Then there are different types of hypothesis. Now, when I say types of hypothesis, see, if you see in the books, there are. I request participant to please mute. So there are many types of hypothesis, but when we talk about the talk in terms of examination, there are mainly two hypotheses. One is H0, that is your null hypothesis, and another one is HA, or you can call it as H1, that is your alternative hypothesis. These are the two important, very, very important, hypothesis which we need to know in detail. What is the meaning of null hypothesis, and when it is accepted, when it is rejected, what is the researcher's purpose of whether it has to be proved, disproved. So there is a detailed topic on this. 100% there will be a question from this, right? Then we talk about variables and its types. Now, when I say variables, okay, again, very important. 100% there will be question. Variable means something keeps on, which is something which keeps on changing, something which keeps on changing. Okay, that is considered to be a variable. Now that variable, that way there are many variables. If you go to research books now, you will find n number of variables. But the basic two important types of variables for your NET exam are independent variable and the dependent variable. You need to know the whole story about what is dependent and what is independent. Suppose I give you a simple example that smoking causes cancer. Okay, smoking causes cancer, right? Simple example, smoking causes cancer, right? Now here, what is dependent on what? It's very clear cut, simple example that cancer is dependent on smoking. That means if a person is smoking 1 pack of cigarette, 10 packs of cigarette, that will lead to whether that person can have cancer or not. Okay. Like for example, taking like suppose if my vitamin C level is low. Okay. So here I am taking the vitamin C medicines and the level of vitamin C. Okay. Now this level of vitamin C is going to increase or decrease only when I increase or decrease the, that means my level of vitamin C depends on the medicines which I am eating. So this is independent because इसके ऊपर कोई असर नहीं हो रहा है. असर किसके ऊपर हो रहा है? मेरी लेवल के ऊपर हो रहा है. So you know this simple example I am giving. ऐसे ही आपसे एग्जाम में एक सिंपल क्वेश्चन देंगे और आपको पूछेंगे कि बताओ ये दो चीजें हैं, इन दोनों में से कौन सा इंडिपेंडेंट है और कौन सा डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल है. Like a simple example, another one, student going for tuition. Okay, tuition and performance. I say that the level of performance increases. I mean the tuition. The student who goes to the tuition, his level of performance is high. Okay, high or what is changing? That is your dependent variable. Considered to be the cause and the dependent variable is considered to be the effect. ये tuition का effect मेरे performance पे. Okay, so there is a detailed learning about this, very important for example. Then there are data types. Again, data types में there is something called NOIR. NOIR is what? Nominal, ordinal. यहाँ पे ना वो primary और secondary नहीं याद रखना. It is not the sources of data. It is simply the data. This is again important when you prepare a questionnaire for your PhD or your project or anything, right? So data types 4 होते हैं. इनके again कुछ features होते हैं, characteristics होते हैं that you need to remember. Exam में they have been asking this question. Then is what are the different types of questionnaire and what is the type of question like open-ended, closed-ended, what are the different ways through which we prepare the questionnaire. Then research ethics, ये एक again basic topic है, आ जाता है. Question do come, but you don't have to study in detail. मतलब ये question ऐसा है कि read करके आपको समझ में आ जाता है कि क्या ethical है और क्या unethical है. Then again this is like sampling methods, very very important. That is your probability and non-probability. 100% there will be a question. Now in this sampling methods, one is probability, another is non-probability. Probability is also known as random sampling and non-probability is also known as non-random sampling. Probability means which is having equal chance of selection and non-probability means no equal chance. Okay. ये मैं सिंपल मीनिंग बता रही हूँ. नाउ इन द बुक्स देयर इज अ टेबल कि भाई प्रोबेबिलिटी के अंदर कौन कौन से सैम्पलिंग मेथड्स हैं और नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी के अंदर कौन कौन से मेथड्स. सो इन एग्जाम 100% दे आर गोइंग टू आस्क यू कि भाई इनकी मीनिंग क्या है, what is the meaning of these two terms and what are the various types under each. There are many. If I will keep on listing down each and everything, it will take a lot of time. But you need to know this table. It's very clearly and it's easily available everywhere. But you need to know this topic very much into detail. Like here in probability, there is a simple random, stratified, and many are there, right? Then in non-probability, there is a cluster sampling and there is a lottery method and all that. So it is like you have to cluster method, then snowball sampling. There are many methods which you need to know. And only आपसे exam में ना detail में क्या बोलते पता है? They will give you some statements like which of the following are probability methods, which of the following are non-probability methods. You will see 100% such type of questions are being asked, right? Then coming to, you need to know कि research paper क्या होता है, article क्या होता है, seminar, how they are different from each other. We know the meanings, but we need to know how they are different from each other, because in exam they will give you a statement and नीचे ये सारे options होंगे. Then you have to understand, okay, how they are different from each other and which is my correct answer. Okay. Then research report format. इसको रट्टा नहीं मारना है, but एक format को understand करना कि how the report is being formed. Then what is the meaning of bibliography? What are the formats? There are various formats, that is MLA style, APA style, Chicago style. You need to know the full forms. You need to know कि MLA कौन से studies में use होता है, APA style कौन से में use होता है, Chicago किस में use होता है. Don't go too much into this topic, because nowadays, you know, everything we do it with the help of computer. So I have seen one question. There are various formats. So once there was a question कि उन्होंने एक बिब्लियोग्राफी का एक लिखा था रेफरेंस, एंड उन्होंने पूछा कि बताओ ये कौन सा स्टाइल में लिखा हुआ है. Practically it is actually very difficult. So such things, you know, when they are very difficult to remember, avoid those things, but have a basic idea कि भाई हाँ ऐसा भी होता है. Sometimes they ask you the basic full form also. Then appendices क्या होता है? नहीं, appendices is a plural word of appendix. It is not वो पेट में जो होता है वो नहीं है. Appendices means something which is like an additional or a supplementary, you can say. Like अगर मैं अपनी PhD कर रही हूँ, कहीं से मुझे फंडिंग मिली है, तो उस फंडिंग का मेरे पास रिकॉर्ड होगा, राइट? सो व्हाट आई विल बी डूइंग, वो लेटर का, वो एजेंसी का मैं लेटर क्या करूंगी, अपेंडाइसिस के बाद अटैच कर दूंगी. सपोज मैं कोई स्कूल या कॉलेज में जा रही हूँ, where I have taken the permission from the principal that I want to collect the data from the students. So that such kind of additional letters which can be important to prove your studies कि हाँ मैंने भाई ऐसा genuinely कुछ किया हुआ है. So that is your appendices. Say simple, they have asked the questions. एक statement देते हैं, फिर वो आपसे पूछते हैं कि बताओ ये appendices है, bibliography है, references है, क्या है ये? You need to know. Then there is impact factor, H factor, I factor, there are G factor. So you have to go into basics of this. Don't go too much into deep, right? Then is plagiarism. There are various softwares which are available freely. So those who are already doing their M.Phil and PhD, so they must be knowing the basics. So you need to know basics, huh? Very clear. There's something you need to know as a very basic topic, not too much into detail, right? So that was about the research. Now comes to reading comprehension. It's like you follow either passage to question or question to passage. But I always prefer this method कि पहले मैं question को read कर लेती हूँ, फिर मैं answer को ढूंढने की कोशिश करती हूँ, instead of just reading the passage, right? So it depends upon how much is your speed, words per minute. Mirror reading कि देख के मेरे को लगता है कि हाँ इसका ये आंसर होगा, right? Upside down reading, ऊपर से नीचे, नीचे से ऊपर जाते रहना. Always remember, whenever you are solving these questions, you should use the elimination method, not the selection method. Elimination का मतलब कि in any given situation, this is not my correct answer. अपने आप से बात करो. In any given situation, this is not the correct answer. So once you know this is not correct, you will come to know कि other thing is correct, right? Then you have to improve your focus. Opening and closing paragraph में देखो क्या दिया हुआ है. Visually अपनी आंखों से उस आंसर को ढूंढने की कोशिश करो, सर्च करो. Specific information जो क्वेश्चन में पूछा है उसी को ही ढूंढो, पूरा पैसेज पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं. There is no need. Do the mind mapping that what is being given in the passage and what it talks about. Have the specific aim that why are you reading this passage? You are reading just for finding the right answer. It is not a pleasure reading. बैठ के उधर time pass करके read नहीं करते, right? We all are mature, but yes, there are certain things which we need to remember. Then always understand that every comprehension has a logical flow. उसका एक flow होता है, उसका एक clear purpose होता है उस paragraph का, right? It always has a background information, some kind of premise, maybe argument or a claim, some contradictory views, opinions of different people or the characters involved in the past. Then there might be some evidence, okay? Then a concluding statement कि you know बचपन में हम स्टोरी पढ़ते थे और पता चलता था कि ये इसका moral है. So moral is nothing but a kind of concluding statement. Read, that's the only quick tip I can give you. Read, skim quickly and scan thoroughly. Move back and forth, question to answer. बार बार back and forth जाते रहो. प्रैक्टिस ईच अ डे, दैट्स द ओनली वे, और कुछ नहीं है इसका इलाज. रीड करो, बट ये मत सोचो कि अरे ये तो पैसेज के लिए क्या, बट प्रैक्टिस. द मोर यू रीड, बुक में पढ़ना और लैपटॉप पे पढ़ना अलग बात होती है. जिनके पास लैपटॉप नहीं है वो मोबाइल पे भी पढ़ सकते हैं, बट हैव अ हैबिट. अपनी बॉडी जो है ना, आवर बॉडी इज लाइक यू नो, वी हैव टू प्रिपेयर आवर बॉडी, आवर ऑल सेंस ऑर्गन्स. यू रीड अ लॉट, जितना आप रीडिंग करेंगे उतना आपका ग्रास्पिंग ज्यादा बेटर होगा, राइट? Next one is communication. This is again important unit, but they hardly ask 3, 4 or maybe 2, 3 questions also. And let me tell you कि अगर ये 3, 4 questions भी पूछते हैं ना तो they ask very basic. इसमें डरने वाली बात है. But जब मैं बोल रही हूँ basic, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि मुझे पढ़ना ही नहीं है. You have to study because this is like a syllabus which is given properly, right? Now here we need to know what is the meaning of communication, from where this word is derived. Okay, what are the various models of communication, SR model, and there are many models. Then what are the different types of communication? All of you must have studied. कभी ना कभी तो अपने लाइफ में पढ़ाई होगा, oral, written, formal, non-formal, informal, grapevine, this, that. You need to know. Apart from that, you need to know how they are different from each other. उनके characteristics क्या हैं? What are their features? See, आपको content तो सारा ही आता होगा, knowledge तो सब कुछ होगा. But what is important to understand how these topics are different from each other. Then comes to analog and digital. पहले के जमाने में analog use होता था and nowadays we use the digital. So what is the difference between? इनमें ना signal का difference होता है कि analog में जो signal होता है वो wavy होता है और digital में जो signal होता है वो linear. So there is like a technical understanding. So इनका signal का difference होता है, that we need to know. Synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous का ऐसे याद रखो, same time. I am taking a session, you are listening me. That is synchronous. एक बार हमारा सेशन खत्म हो जाएगा, जब उसको ऑलरेडी यूट्यूब पे लाइव है, लाइव जा रहे, रियल टाइम. रियल टाइम इज योर सिंक्रोनस. बट अगर आप रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर बाद में सुन रहे हो, दैट इज असिंक्रोनस. I have seen the questions repeatedly on this topic. Okay. Then is what are the effective communications or the characteristics of effective communication? There are 7 C's that we need to know. Then there's a communication process which we need to know how communication flows. Everybody must be knowing कि communication में there is a sender, there is a receiver, there is a message, there is a medium, there is a channel, there is a feedback, there is a noise. So इनका hierarchy कैसा है? Okay, how is the sequence? They do ask you in exam. Okay, very basic they have asked in exam. Then what are the principles of effective communication? कि जब भी आप किसी से भी communicate कर रहे हो तो basic principles क्या है? कि अगर मैं किसी से बात कर रही हूँ, I keep on constantly, I only speak and I don't give the other person chance. मैं सिर्फ सुन रही हूँ और बोल नहीं रही हूँ, बोल रही हूँ, सुन रही नहीं हूँ. So that is ineffective communication, right? Principle means the basic rules we need to follow. And communication barriers, again important topic. There can be a physical barrier, there can be technical, there can be semantic barrier. So that way we need to know कि कौन सा barrier किसके अंदर आता है. There is a category, there is a table being given in the books available in the market. Then is mass media and society. You know how much important today this mass media or mass communication plays an important role. Okay. Then gatekeeping theory है एक छोटी सी. Then mass communication agencies in India. It's not like they don't ask a detailed question, but yes, you need to know the basic. But ये चीजें ऐसी है, communication में what I have observed is, suppose if there are 3 questions, okay, out of 3, 2 will be very basic जो आपको पता होगा. हो सकता है कि जो एक है बचा हुआ वो आपको भी नहीं आता होगा, शायद मुझे भी नहीं आता होगा. It's not like I am the trainer or I am the टीचर और प्रोफेसर फॉर नेट एग्जाम, आई नो 100%. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. जो आपको नहीं पता है शायद वो मुझे भी नहीं पता होगा. सो डोंट रन बिहाइंड दैट वन क्वेश्चन. उसके पीछे भागो जो आपको भी पता है, मुझे भी पता है. रन बिहाइंड द क्वेश्चंस, उनको पढ़ने की कोशिश करो जो बहुत ही कॉमनली पूछे गए, राइट? कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट वन इज आईसीटी. सबको वाले बचपन से हम पढ़ते आ रहे हैं कंप्यूटर्स के बारे में. दिस इज ऑल जनरल नॉलेज इन द कंप्यूटर. But when I say general, does not mean कि जिसको कंप्यूटर चलाने आता है उसको ये सारी चीजें आती होंगी. No, you might be very good at technology. but it has got a syllabus. Okay, so we need to know what is the meaning, characteristics of ICT. Synchronous, as I told you, real time at the same time. Okay, asynchronous means not at the same time, not real time. Digital initiatives, very, very important. Very important. At least you can expect 2 questions from this topic. And this is, you can say that these questions are related to current affairs. Now, when I say current affair, does not mean कि सुबह से newspaper खोल के बैठ जाना. No, we are not appearing for IAS or UPSC exams. Current affair means it is related to only education. तो उसके लिए हमको क्या करना चाहिए? See, market में जो books हैं, author doesn't update the book every time. ठीक है? तो आपको क्या करना है? MHRD की वेबसाइट पे रोज नहीं, हफ्ते में 1 दिन, 10 दिन में एक बार जाना चाहिए. UGC के वेबसाइट पे चले जाओ. और इसी तरह से जो भी गवर्नमेंट से रिलेटेड, हमारी एजुकेशन से रिलेटेड साइट्स है, these sites you should visit so that you can get the better information. These are the main 2 sites I would suggest. Then there is a types of computers, like it is evolution of computer, generation of computers. Okay, इनके features क्या है, how they are different from each other. Very important, basic but important. बचपन में आपने भी पढ़ा है, हमने भी पढ़ा है, but उसको रिवाइज करना है, रिकॉल करना है. कंप्यूटर हार्डवेयर we all know, but basic question they do ask. Types of memory, very important question, that is RAM and ROM. What is RAM, what is ROM, what is the full form, what is the difference, how they are different from each other. Okay, which is volatile, non volatile, primary, secondary. So ये सब आपको पता होना चाहिए. Then there is types of system softwares, programming languages. हमको पूरा डिटेल नहीं आना चाहिए programming language, but हमको पता होना चाहिए कि which are the basic programming languages which one can learn. Then is binary number system. Again, very important topic for your exam. These 2 are very, 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 very important. Very, very important. Binary number system. इसमें क्या होता है? Binary, आपको पता है कि computer is like, they don't understand ABCD. They don't understand any language. They understand only one language, that is written in 0 and 1. That is, they understand only binary language, zeros and ones, right? So there is a conversion. अभी डर नहीं जाना है कि ये maths है. It is simply they will be giving you one number and you have to convert it into either from binary to decimal or from decimal to binary. इसका एक method है solve करने का. Okay. Then there are memory units. Again, very important question. Like it starts from bit, then it goes to byte, kilobyte, megabyte, and so on. So 4 bits make 1 byte, then 8 bits make 1 kilobyte, then 1000. Then they that way the numbers keep on exponentially growing. So there is a trick to remember these units in a hierarchy. Hierarchy means it's in a sequence from lowest to highest order. Okay, it's like one nibble. One nibble is equals to bit, byte. There are many things to understand. ये बहुत आगे तक जाती है hierarchy. So it's like there is a way to remember. In our crash course, we are going to teach you in detail. Then there are types of computer networks, which we need to know basic. Internet के बारे में आजकल वो लोग ज़्यादा पूछ लेते हैं. Simple, they give you option कि okay, Yahoo, Google, Facebook, ये वो तो बताओ इसमें से search engine कौन सा है, browser कौन सा है, how the domain name is written, what is the IP address का मतलब क्या होता है, full form क्या होता है, IP address का number कैसे होता है, you need to know. Then email structure. Okay, email में CC और BC. These are the 2 important things they keep on asking. कि CC का meaning क्या होता है, BC का meaning क्या होता है, BCC, right? Then there are other terminologies. Terminologies mean some kind of terms which we need to know, ki skimming, phishing, this, that. And there are some terms in ICT that we need to remember for exam. Then comes to your people development and environment. ये आपको लगेगा कि ये EVS है, but ये EVS या geography से थोड़ा सा अलग है. It is little higher level. It's a combination of your EVS and the geography which you have studied in your lower standards. But now you might have not, revised it again and again. So एक बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा. So if there are 4 to 5 questions in this topic, from this topic, if it comes, वन क्वेश्चन ऐसा होगा शायद वो आपको भी पता नहीं है, मुझे भी नहीं पता, मे बी अ काइंड ऑफ करंट अफेयर क्वेश्चन, राइट? दे कैन आस्क यू, but the other 4 questions will be very very basic, very very basic. So इसमें there are millennium development goals, okay, then there are sustainable development goals. उनका एक ईयर है कि ये कौन से ईयर पे एस्टैब्लिश हुआ था, कौन से ईयर पे अचीव करना है, उनका टारगेट क्या है एंड उनके गोल्स क्या क्या हैं. दे विल आस्क यू इन एग्जाम. इट्स अ वेरी बेसिक टॉपिक but we need to understand environment or its components, then what are the types of ecosystems, terrestrial, aquatic and all, then what is the meaning of food chain, food web क्या होता है ये पता होना चाहिए. Topic levels we need to know, producers, consumers, carnivores, herbivores, this that many are there, so that we need to have the basic understanding. Different spheres, we all have studied these spheres in our school, but if I ask somebody the hierarchy, nobody will remember. So that hierarchy you need to know, कौन से sphere में क्या होता है, किसका क्या importance है, that we need to know. Then what is biodiversity hotspot, then in situ ex situ की जो particular sanctuary होती है, zoo होता है, national park होता है, so all these are places where we conserve our biodiversity. When I say biodiversity means all the plants, all the animal species, right? So what are we doing? How the government is taking the efforts to conserve these biodiversities. Sometimes they can ask you a current affair question, which particular state is having highest number of national parks, zoos or sanctuaries or birds, I mean bird sanctuaries and so on. So इतना tension नहीं लेने का, ये सोचना है कि भाई majority of the students may not be good at current affairs, but those who are good readers, they can crack such questions. Then how the human activities are impacting on our environment. Impacting means always a negative impact, okay? Then again, this is important, huh? That what is pollution? Pollution or pollution के types क्या होते हैं, right? Now here types of pollutants are there. कि यहाँ पे here mainly we are considering air pollution and the water pollution and the noise pollution. There are light pollution, there are many other, but for our exam, these 3 are important: air, water and noise pollution. So they will ask you, what are the sources from where these pollutants come? Unka effect kya hai? Then what are the various diseases which are being caused because of these pollutants? Then simple question on acid rain is also being asked. See, how is acid rain formed? There are 2 main things because of which the acid rain is formed. And acid rain, can anyone tell me which are the 2 gases which form acid rain? Yeah. Anybody? Which are the 2 gases? SO2, very good. And which is the other gas? One is SO2 and another one is the nitrogen. Okay. So when these SO2 and nitrogen, when these 2 gases come together in the contact of oxygen, or you can say in the air, they create acid rain. And this acid rain has a huge impact on the monuments. They have asked कि ताजमहल अगर आज खराब हो रहा है तो वो acid rain की वजह से हो रहा है. So they have asked which monument is affected by acid rain. So we need to know. Then noise के ऊपर बहुत सारे questions आ चुके हैं. If they ask you, they might ask one question on noise pollution. That is measurement of sound. How is sound measured? There is a unit called decibel. Decibel is the unit because through which the noise is measured. What are the permissible levels of sounds, right? Then environment में कौन-कौन से type के waste होते हैं? How are those waste originating? What are the treatment methods available for those waste? Then climate change, global warming. Increase in the temperature is nothing but global warming, right? What are the causes? कौन-कौन से gases हैं जिनको हम greenhouse gases, okay? So chlorofluorocarbon, CHD and all. So that we need to know all those gases. Then again, this is important question, natural and energy resources. We have got renewable and non-renewable resources. कि renewable का meaning क्या होता है, non-renewable का meaning क्या होता है, how they are different from each other, okay? उनके advantages और disadvantages क्या है, and you need to know little current affair कि India में उसकी installed capacity कितनी है, what is the future target of India to achieve for these energy resources. Then a basic idea roughly which are the countries producing highest quantity of coal in the world, which is the country which is consuming lot of coal. So basic, don't stress yourself for such questions. पूछेंगे भी तो एक ही ऐसा पूछेंगे which you may not be knowing, but it is absolutely okay. But the questions which are conceptual, कि हाँ ये concept ही है, तो ये तो पता ही होना चाहिए, right? Then there are natural hazards. Okay, very important. So many hazards are happening every now and then, and now the hazards have increased. Some hazards are natural, some hazards are man-made, right? So we need to know that what are those types of hazards, what are the different categories, unka meaning और उनका impact. जैसे कि cloud burst, rainfall, flood, ये सब is not a hazard, but excessive rainfall will cause the flood. So flood का impact क्या होता है, earthquake का impact क्या होता है. So we need to know cloud burst, forest fire, this, that. Very many questions are being asked on earthquake, how the earthquake is measured. Okay, what are the different, there is a table given in commonly all the books it is given कि मैं कब सकती हूँ कि अभी जैसे रिसेंटली आसाम में अर्थक्वेक आया था. ओके, तो मैं कब बोल सकती हूँ कि ये अर्थक्वेक माइनर था और ये अर्थक्वेक मेजर था. So there is a particular scale. Anything above 6 is considered to be major, but there is a Richter scale. Okay, कोई Richter भी बोलता, कोई Richter बोलता है, कोई Richter बोलता है. So depending on Richter scale, Richter scale has a calculation. Okay, so the intensity of the earthquake is measured by the Richter scale. There is one more scale, but this is the important scale which is used in measurement of the earthquake's intensity, right? Then comes to various protectional environment related acts. One is 1986 Environmental Protection Act, National Action Plan on Climate Change, National Green Tribunal. So all these you need to know in detail, not detail too much, but basic. Okay, international agreements, these are very again important topic. In your prescribed syllabus, they have given these particular agreements: Montreal Protocol, Rio Summit, Convention on Biodiversity, Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement, International Solar Alliance. So you need to know कि ये particular agreement का launch year कब था, उनकी place of meeting कहाँ पे थी, उनके objectives और aims क्या थे. Like if I say Kyoto Protocol, it is like purely talks about ozone layer and all that. So you need to know कि कौन सा agreement किससे related है. Clearly it is given like International Solar Alliance, India and France. They had the alliance to start with this International Solar Alliance. So we need to question आया था कि कौन सी दो countries ने आपस में alliance किया था solar के लिए. So that was India and France, right? So that is from people and development. Now the last topic is higher education system in India. I'm telling you, this is a pure ratta maru subject. Pure ratta maru. थोड़ा समझने वाला भी होगा, but if you see out of this in this 10th unit, majority of the things you will have to cram rather than understanding. मतलब कैसे अभी जैसे law subject होता है. If I say business law, जो कानून है सो वो ही है, तो higher education भी वैसा ही है. You have to remember it as it is. ज़्यादा उसको मतलब it is like more of knowledge kind of subject, right? So there is an ancient Indian education system that we need to know, post-independence, pre-independence. Then there are various initiatives कि government ने, very important topic, कि government ने कौन-कौन सी committees बनाई थी, कौन-कौन से commissions थे. Like you must have seen कि RBI की committees होती हैं, banking की committees होती हैं, education में भी committees बनती हैं. Those who frame the policies, those who prepare the reports, they come up with some budget, they come up with some problem solving things. So various commissions are there, various policies are being framed, various reports are also there. So you need to know कि ये report किसने बनाई थी, ये report में क्या लिखा हुआ था. So when you go through the content, there are various things given, and surely there will be question from this topic. Then again 100% question from this topic about the types of education: oriental, conventional, non-conventional, professional, technical, skill-based education. 100% there will be question. You need to know कि भाई प्रोफेशनल और टेक्निकल में क्या डिफरेंस है, टेक्निकल स्किल बेस में क्या है, कन्वेंशनल नॉन कन्वेंशनल में क्या, एंड ओरिएंटल, राइट, एंड डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन का बेसिक्स पता होगा. Then the last one here, we will say that you need to know कि central government is the policy making body for education. Again, state government also plays an important role, and there is a CAB, okay, Central Advisory Board of Education. Then regulatory bodies हैं जो देखती है कि जो rules and regulations बनाती है, okay, and they also see whether the colleges are following those rules, regulations or not. Okay, so there's a UGC. So what you need to know in this topic is कि UGC का establishment कब हुआ था, उसका act का नाम क्या है. So one is 1953 was the establishment year of UGC, and 56 is the act of UGC. So simple, they have asked in the exam that what is the act of UGC or when was the act of UGC established. Act, the word when you see act, it is 56 and establishment is 53. So ये 2 years है. फिर वो UGC के अंदर उनके चेयरमैन कौन है, and what are the functions of UGC, क्या करता है, okay, and what are the different offices. Offices means office bearers, की secretary होता है, वाइस चेयरमैन होता है, and all there are many people involved. So थोड़ा basic idea UGC के बारे में पता होना चाहिए, which you can get it easily on the website of UGC. कि यूनिवर्सिटी और उसके टाइप्स क्या होते हैं, प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटी, पब्लिक यूनिवर्सिटी, ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी, डीम्ड टू बी यूनिवर्सिटी, okay, that way many are there. I'm just referring here the few. Then there are other institutes which are not universities, but they are other higher institutes like AIU, IUCs. Then we have other national important institutes of national importance like IIM, IIT, IISc, NIT, and many more are. Research councils. Many a times the questions are being asked from this. Okay, there are various councils. The moment you type in Google research councils, you will find n number of lists. Okay, you need to know कि ICSSR का full form क्या है. Indian Council for Social Science Research. In ICHR, Indian Council for Historical Research. So ऐसे बहुत सारे हैं. कभी-कभी वो लोग का full form भी पूछ ले. IGNO का year of establishment, उनका act पूछेंगे. IGNO में there are 2 important things you need to know, that IGNO has its own channels. They have launched 2 channels. One is known as the Gyan Vani, okay, and another one is considered to be as Gyan Darshan. उन्होंने पूछा है कि which are the 2 channels which the IGNO has established. Gyan Vani. Vani is nothing but Vani. It is like a radio channel. Darshan is a satellite. Okay, it's a educational satellite channels like TV satellite channels. So they have asked the basic. Okay, then there are various accreditation bodies. Accreditation means जो आपके institute को grade देते हैं, right? So AICT का full form कभी establish हुआ था, NAC का full form establishment और उनके parameters क्या होते हैं और उनका grade कितने years तक valid होता है, whether that grade is linked with the funding or not. So basic of accreditation you should know. Then this is again very important. कि India में what is government of India doing for the higher education? You need to know the full forms. We need to know the objectives of these initiatives. Very important, huh? Very, very important. Then this is again a current affair question, which you may be knowing or you may not be knowing. But the basic ones, they will ask you that what are the ranking agencies, unka full form, unke parameters, and year wise. Suppose there is NIRF ranking, for example. अगर इनकी ranking 2021 की available है, if NIRF has released the ranking of 2021, then you will have to remember this. Suppose if there is no ranking released so far, तो आपको 2020 का ही याद रखना, because they do ask in exam. कभी-कभी वो लोग पूछ लेते हैं कि according to NIRF 2021 ranking, which institute ranked first, okay, or which college in this particular category. So NIRF ranking की एक particular website है, which you can go and visit. You will find the year wise rankings. THER again उनकी भी एक ranking की website है. QS, that is Quacquarelli Simmons, उनके भी rankings. Again मैं बोलूंगी ये questions ऐसे हैं जो शायद हमको याद नहीं पड़ सकते. We may not be able to remember so many ranks. It is absolutely okay if you don't know such questions. So ऐसे समझ लो कि if there are 50 questions in your paper 1, it is absolutely okay that if you don't know 5 questions out of it. Current affair के अगर मान लो कोई question आएंगे भी, they are going to come either from higher education, either from people and environment. Okay, these are the two main areas where I feel they are going to ask the current affair question. अगर पूछेंगे भी तो एक एक ही पूछेंगे. कभी कभी रिसर्च में उन्होंने sometimes rare case they might ask you कि online tool data analysis के ऊपर कुछ पूछ लिया, you may not be knowing. So don't run behind the questions which you may not be knowing current affair related. Run behind the questions which you can easily crack. Okay, I am considering 5, but it may be less also. So run behind the questions which you can easily crack. Out of 45, keep a target of minimum 30 to 35. Then only you can crack this exam. So that was from my side. And if you people have any kind of questions, you can ask. So I know Dr. Hitesh Kumar time is over, but we will take another 5-10 minutes to wind up the session. Any questions you people can put up, and Komal ma'am and other technical team members, you people can just let me know if there are any questions on YouTube channel also. I will be happy to resolve those things.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, there is one question from Anuradha ma'am, binary system, where we can get the information regarding that.
Okay. Yeah, you can just keep on telling. I'll answer later. Yeah.
Surely. Surely. Yeah. Then reference book for solving last year's paper with the correct answer. Then again, there is a question for binary numbers. There is one query from Arnesh Rao. He's M.Com, but he wants to choose economics for specialization. Arnesh, that is not possible.
Okay. Okay. So meanwhile, Madam looks for the another questions if there are any. Let me just tell you about the binary and the decimal numbers. Secondly, you people are asking about the previous year question papers, which I am already sharing this slide. You can just see sharing means here it is there on the screen. There is a Disha publication where they have, solved the previous year questions, and I highly rely on Dr. Rashmi Singh. She writes very nice, and you can just buy this book. It's easily available. You can simply type, you can click a picture of this particular screen, and you can just type on Amazon UGC-NET Disha publication paper 1. You will get n number of books. But these are the books which is having. See, this is purely previous year papers, and this is like purely the theory content plus the previous year question and the solving practice questions also. And the another book which is easily like available in the market, one of the books which is by the leading publication, that is Pearson publication. We have got KVS Madan sir's book as well, which is highly again recommended. And these are also there. And we at Ascendance Academy also, we have our study material, which we will be surely, sharing with the people, those who will be joining us later also. So before I end up, yeah, one more question was there regarding that the person has done the M.Com and now he wants to give UGC-NET in economics. Sorry, you actually can't do that. For that, you need to have an MA in economics. It's not like you can't appear. I'm not saying that you can't appear, but it is not going to be a valid degree when you go for job, searching for a job. Okay, so if you are interested in economics and qualifying UGC-NET in economics, it is better you complete your MA in economics and then go for your UGC-NET in economics. Now, before I end up the session, now today we are gathered here mainly to give you the brief of this one, paper 1 syllabus, whatever best we could do in the allotted time. Apart from that, it's a great thing to announce here on this platform that SHM Degree College of Commerce, Ulhasnagar, Mumbai, Department of Commerce in association of IQAC department is pleased to organize. It's like I am really feeling privileged to announce that they have put in an effort to organize this 10 days UGC-NET crash course for paper 1, which is for all the subject codes in association with the Ascendance Academy. And the course fees is going to be 750 rupees. The course is going to start from 9th August. Daily there will be session from 4 to 6 p.m. There we are going to do the teaching, the actual teaching learning for your preparation of your NET exam. And all those things, how to convert binary, decimal, we are surely going to teach you in this particular crash course, which is there for 10 days. All the details are being put here, and you can just make a note. I'll just, yeah. There are contact numbers you all can see, and the links will be shared by Komal ma'am. Komal ma'am, you can just share the link.
Yes, ma'am, I have just shared the link in the chat box.
And those are there in the WhatsApp groups. They will also find this. And I would request those who are interested in teaching, those who are interested in learning for their preparation for this UGC-NET exam, we can really do justice in these 10 days. Okay, we can give you the detailed knowledge about this particular exam by teaching you what exactly the topics are, and it will be a completely an interactive session. In 10 days, we are going to cover all the units, right? For 9 days are going to be dedicated completely to the teaching of the 9 units. As I said, ki comprehension mein padhane ke liye to kuch hai hi nahi, right? On the 10th day, we are going to solve the previous year questions. When I say previous year, does not mean main pure hi question solve karungi, but I am going to help you along with my team members that how exactly you have to approach for that particular exam. Okay, so that is going to be there. All the bank details are being put up. All the contact numbers are also there. For the time being, you can take up a picture and you can contact a concerned person from SHM college. They can surely help you for your registration.
As well as I have shared the registration link in the chat box.
So main important is the contact details are there. You can always contact these faculty members, those who are really, whole college is putting an effort for all this. So any other queries, you can just feel free to put up your queries, your concerns and your comments. This is me, and this is my institute, Ascendance Academy. You can always go to website, you can check. Feel free to contact for study material, okay, and online live coaching. Of course, it is a paid one. It's not at all a free one. And this is my contact number if you have any queries related to my academy. But related to the course, you have to contact college people only. So that's from my side.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I have shared the registration link as well as feedback link in the chat box. Ma'am, there is one last question. In current pandemic situations, how exams will be conducted?
See,
and participants are also interested if there are any plans for paper 2.
Okay, see, paper 2, we at Ascendance Academy, we only specialize in 2 subjects, that is commerce and management. So first we are focusing on paper 1, and then later we can surely come up with such kind of webinar and crash course for commerce and management in association with SHM college. So first we would like you to understand the paper 1, which is, sometimes a difficult part because it's a general paper and many of you have never studied those subjects, right? So that's it. And I request everyone, those who really wish, they feel that yes, Ascendance Academy and SHM college, with their efforts, they can help them, help you to prepare for your exam. you can surely join this crash course, which, and I can, you just can trust. You can go to our website, you can go to our Facebook page, you can check for the reviews. And recently also I have done a crash course with Walia College, and I have done crash courses with various colleges, and it is my privilege and a pleasure as well to associate with SHM College for this paper 1 crash course. And at the end, I would just like to speak something which is given by Warren Buffett, and I feel really motivated with this. He says that we don't have to be smarter than the rest. It's very important that we have to be more disciplined than the rest. It's very important. My friend is smarter than me. It really doesn't matter. How much disciplined are you? Because these exams, they require a lot of learning, lot of determination. Continuous padna without giving any excuses. So that discipline, that discipline, determination will take you a long way in your life. So that is there. And this is me and my contact number. You can always keep in touch if you have any queries. Everything, all the services are the paid services. So you can always contact. Anything else, if you have, you can just put up. Otherwise, from our side, things are over. And thank you everyone for being the patient listeners. And I thank the college principal, Dr. Kiran. I thank Professor Komal and all the other team members who are directly and indirectly involved in organizing this webinar, which has surely given some kind of insight on paper 1. Yeah, can English specification, okay, there are some questions which are being put up. I'll just take up. Can English specification people attempt for any other NET subjects? Yeah, Nisha, as I told you, you can appear NET in any subjects, but it is going to be valid only when you complete post graduation in that particular subject. Otherwise, जैसे कि I am M.Com, अगर मैं इकोनॉमिक्स में UGC क्वालिफाई करती हूँ, that qualification of UGC-NET in economics is not valid unless and until you don't qualify your MA in economics, right? So, whenever you are appearing for UGC-NET, first you should appear in the subject which is your master's subject, and then you prefer any other subject. What to go for NET or SET? What is more preferable? Okay, Karishma has a question. Now see, the major difference between NET and SET is that when you qualify NET exam, you are eligible to apply for job in any state of India. Okay. And when you apply for SET and you qualify SET exam, okay, so at that point of time, you become eligible only for that particular state. So it is always advisable. Don't miss a chance. देखो, don't miss a chance. SET आता है तो पहले SET का एग्जाम दो, फॉर्म भरो. NET पहले आता है, but you should always qualify NET and SET both. Right? Like if you are married, you are planning to stay only in Maharashtra. आपको महाराष्ट्र के बाहर जाना ही नहीं है. So it is preferable you can go for SET exam. Whatever जो भी crack हो जाता है first, you have to be lucky in that, right? So what is that, Nisha? In ECCE we don't have any masters. Amit Chauhan has a question that what's the cutoff of economics? See, there is a proper cutoff list is there available on the NTA and UGC-NET website also. You can go. Always the cutoff of economics is higher. As far as I know, the cutoff of economics goes beyond 62 to 63. Beyond. Because I do have students, those who come for paper 1 and appearing for NET in economics. I don't know, Nisha, what is ECCE? Okay, Nisha has a question. Can we be an assistant professor by clearing NET or PhD's mandate? I have so many people, even today I can see so many people have joined, those who are already doctorates, but still they are the aspirants of NET exam, right? So NET is still the eligibility for entering into the teaching profession. Of course, PhD is there, but NET is still there. अभी ऐसा गवर्नमेंट ने नहीं बोला कि खाली नेट होएगा चलेगा, सेट होएगा चलेगा, यहाँ PhD चाहिए. NET is still the eligibility. So first you qualify the NET, Okay, and you can do the PhD, and PhD करने के बाद भी लोगों को नेट चाहिए ही चाहिए. I have the students with me, मेरे पास जो पढ़ रहे हैं या पढ़ चुके हैं, वो लोग PhD होल्डर्स है, ऑलरेडी दे हैव फिनिश देयर PhD, पर उनको स्केल नहीं मिल रही है. स्केल मींस अप्रूव्ड सैलरी नहीं मिल रही है. रीजन इज दे आर नॉट नेट क्वालिफाइड. Okay, online crash course will be on Zoom platform because it is a paid course. It won't be there on YouTube. Okay, Yogeshwari has a question. In our net, our PG concept is clear. Should be in men specifically. Yogeshwari, I didn't get your question. In the net, our PG concept is clear. Should be in men specifically subject. I didn't understand the question. If you can. नेट क्लियर होने के बाद हम कब तक एलिजिबल है? यू आर एलिजिबल फॉर द होल लाइफ. अगर नेट के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं तो यू आर एलिजिबल फॉर द होल लाइफ. उसकी कोई एक्सपायरी डेट नहीं है. इट विल एक्सपायर ओनली व्हेन वी विल एक्सपायर. बट व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट JRF, उसकी वैलिडिटी है. इफ यू क्वालिफाई JRF, तो आपके लेटर की डेट से लेके पर्टिकुलर विद इन 2 years ऑफ टाइम यू विल हैव टू एनरोल योरसेल्फ फॉर फेलोशिप. Any other question? Yogeshwari, if you can repeat your question, I'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, your question seems to be incomplete or I am not able to interpret it. Any other questions? Ma'am, in this current pandemic situation, how the exams will be? See, so far, exam is anyways, it is going to be online only. There is no other option. You have to go to the center and you have to appear for exam. But according to my judgment, the exam is going to be conducted only once the NEET exams, JEE, NEET, all these will get over. After that only we will be having exam, maybe after October, September के बाद ही होगा. उसके पहले तो होने का चांस ही नहीं है. Because we are expecting a third wave of COVID, which is in September. There is another question from Nisha that what is the scope of PhD in English in India? See, the scope of any subject in India or wherever you go in the world, it is all depending upon the job prospects you are having. So, if you are MA in English and if you pursue PhD in English, you can be an assistant professor in degree college, right? So, there is always a scope. नेट अच्छे से क्रैक करने के लिए MSc कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर होने चाहिए एंड इंग्लिश इज मस्ट. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है योगेश्वरी साहू, ये जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको इंग्लिश में, क्योंकि इंडिया में ऐसा कुछ इश्यू ही नहीं है कि जो हमारा पेपर होता है, अगर आप हिंदी में अच्छे हो तो आपको हिंदी में ही पढ़ना पड़ेगा, अगर आप इंग्लिश में अच्छे हो तो आपको इंग्लिश में पढ़ना पड़ेगा, राइट? सो MSc के कॉन्सेप्ट, व्हाट इज दैट? अनदर वन, I'll just take up the question. How can we get the hard copy of the certificate? I qualified at 2018 but didn't get certificate hard copy. See, hard copy nowadays UGC has stopped giving hard copy. आपको soft copy मिलती है, उसको download करके you have to take a color print out. That's it. या तो soft copy ही होता है. So आपका वो जो soft copy है ना, वो ही valid है. Mr. Arvind, it seems, right? So, Mr. Arvind, I will tell you कि जब भी हम जॉब पे जाते हैं तो हमेशा हमारे कॉलेज के थ्रू ना एक लेटर जाता है. ओके, दैट लेटर हम लिखते हैं यूजीसी को कि ओके, ये गीता भाटिया कैंडिडेट है, उन्होंने ये साल में एग्जाम क्वालिफाई किया था, वेदर ये जेन्युइन है या नहीं है. So the college will write a letter to UGC and UGC will revert कि okay, so and so candidate has qualified. तो वो जो आपका लेटर होता है ना, that is again important when you join a job. तो वो लोग क्रॉस चेकिंग करते हैं पूरा जेन्युइनिटी. सो सॉफ्ट कॉपी इज वैलिड सर्टिफिकेट, डोंट वरी. कैन वी ऑल्सो चूज सब्जेक्ट अदर देन स्पेशलाइजेशन? यस राहुल, श्योरली यू कैन, बट अगेन आई टोल्ड यू कि एग्जाम्पल दे रही हूँ, अगर मैं आज MCOM हूँ और मैंने मान लो नेट में इकोनॉमिक्स में नेट क्वालिफाई किया, राइट? और मेरे साथ एक दूसरा भी कैंडिडेट आ रहा है दैट ही इज MA इकोनॉमिक्स एंड ही हैज क्वालिफाइड नेट इन इकोनॉमिक्स. Now you tell me, the principal or the panelist, surely they are going to prefer the person who has done MA in economics and qualified net in economics. So मेरा net in economics important और eligible कब होगा? When I am MA in economics, right? Amit Chauhan has a question. I am in MA part 2, so am I eligible for upcoming net exam? Yes, you are. बिकॉज द पर्सन हैज टू, मतलब अवेटेड रिजल्ट होने चाहिए कि आपने MA एग्जाम, अभी जैसे आप एग्जाम दोगे, बाय द टाइम आपका सेमेस्टर 3 तो खत्म ही हो जाए, सो यू आर, बट स्टिल फॉर दीज थिंग्स यू कैन रीड द नोटिफिकेशंस ऑफ UGC के वेबसाइट पे जाके आप रीड कर सकते. प्रोफेसर पटेल निधि, विच इज लेटेस्ट फील्ड इन PhD नाउ. सी लेटेस्ट फील्ड अगर हम देखें, ऑफकोर्स कॉमर्स तो इज नेवर एंडिंग, क्योंकि लाइफ में बिजनेस तो कभी खत्म नहीं होगा. देन कंप्यूटर्स, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, सो ऑल दीज आर, सी एनी फील्ड, अगर कोई MA हिस्ट्री में PhD कर रहा है तो वो भी अपने आप में ही लेटेस्ट है. सो इट ऑल डिपेंड्स अपॉन कि आपका इंटरेस्ट कौन से सब्जेक्ट, राइट. व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट आफ्टर क्वालिफाइंग नेट एग्जाम? Nikhat Parveen is asking. See, once you qualify the exam, you are in a position to ask for a better salary. You may be having good experience, you may be having good knowledge, you may be a good teacher. But if you are not net qualified, people are going to, ask you to work at a lower salary. So net qualify करने का एक reason है, आपकी salary में hike आता है, आपको approved post मिलने के chances होते हैं, right? That's the main thing. Then MCOM होने के बाद मैनेजमेंट में सेट नेट दे सकते हैं. यस, आप दे सकते हैं, बट अगेन ये वही बात हो गई, मैनेजमेंट में सेट और नेट क्लियर करना मतलब जो MBA होते हैं उनके लिए मैनेजमेंट होता है. तो अगेन ये प्रेफरेंस ही होता है, इट्स ऑल अबाउट प्रेफरेंस. यू कैन क्वालिफाई, बट आप जब जॉब के लिए शॉर्ट लिस्टिंग होती है ना, तो पैनलिस्ट और जो कॉलेज के प्रोफेसर और अपॉइंटिंग अथॉरिटीज होते हैं, दे विल शॉर्टलिस्ट अकॉर्डिंगली कि उनको प्रेफरेंस किसको देना है. That depends on the PG specialization. Any other doubts? Still there are some messages. MCOM होने के बाद management. I have completed MA in philosophy, religion, culture. Can I give net in philosophy comparative? Yes, you can. PhD में दूसरे भी field ले सकते हैं other than commerce. Again, I told you ना कि ये preference की बात है. ये प्रेफरेंस की ही बात है कि हम अपने सब्जेक्ट के, जैसे कि एक मैं सिंपल एग्जांपल दे रही हूँ कि अगर एक होटल है, एक होटल में मैं बोलती हूँ कि गीता भाटिया इज अ वेरी गुड बेकर, वो बहुत अच्छे केक्स बनाती है, और मान लो मैं बोलती हूँ कि कोमल मैडम है, वो भी एक होटल में शेफ है एंड शी कुक्स वेरी गुड वेजिटेरियन फूड. ओके, तो ऑफकोर्स कि जब भी बेकिंग की बात आएगी तो दे विल प्रेफर गीता भाटिया. जब मेन कोर्स की बात होगी, दे विल प्रेफर कोमल ओनली. आई माइट से कि हाँ मैं तो घर में खाना बनाती हूँ, क्या वो लोग रिस्क लेंगे? नहीं, दे विल प्रेफर मी ओनली फॉर बेकिंग बिकॉज आई हैव मास्टरी ओवर इट. सो इट ऑल मैटर्स, योर मास्टरी मैटर्स अ लॉट. ओके, yes, PGDM students are eligible for net set. PhD scholarship seat कब मिलती है? Only when you qualify your JRF. Without JRF you don't, but there are some good institutes. अभी मेरी एक स्टूडेंट को IIT पवई के पीछे एक NIT है करके है, she got JRF scholarship there and she told me कि मैडम उस इंस्टीट्यूट में even if you are not JRF, based on your scores they give you fellowship. Ma'am, how much duration want to clear JRF? It all depends upon how much efforts you put, how much mastery you have over your subject, and paper one आपका कितना strong है. If you have a good paper one strong है आपका, so you can surely qualify your JRF. It's all about your efforts कि आप कितना effort डाल रहे हो उसके. Yes, PGDFM और PhD एक साथ कर सकते हैं? नो पूजा, आप 2 डिग्रीज एक साथ नहीं कर सकते. अगर ऐसा होगा तो हम कितनी सारी डिग्रीज एक साथ कर सकते हैं, राइट? इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. Only because there is a criteria. We can't do so many courses at one point of time. I have completed MCOM in management. Which subject should I take PhD into? Of course, you should go for management only. Business studies वगैरह आते हैं, business policy and administration भी होते हैं. What is the last year cutoff for JRF? Again, I told you, Nasib, I can't remember so much thoroughly, but you can always go to the website and check the cutoff. And I don't know which subject you are asking for. Non-net fellowship is valid UGC. Amit Jain, can you be a little clear with your question? Non-net fellowship is valid UGC. I didn't get the question clearly. If you can repeat the question, I may be in the position to. Ma'am, please, can you send the PDF of this PPT? Sorry, I can't be. I won't be sharing this PPT of mine. We at Ascendance Academy, we really have no concept of sharing our soft copy of the material. But you can always, whenever you want to check, you can always go to SHM College YouTube channel. You can visit there. We won't be sharing because it is actually nothing but the syllabus only. One last question: how much chance is there to qualify if one paper is good and the one paper was average? Does they take average or any other marking? They take average means they combine, they aggregate. अगर मान लो आपको पेपर 1 में इतना स्कोर है, but there is a percentage. You can go to website and check. But they always keep a aggregate. पहले ऐसे होता था. Earlier there used to be a criteria कि minimum, इतना होना चाहिए and all that. But now it is aggregate. UGC non-net fellowship is still valid or not? What is this non-net fellowship is still valid or not? See, Samruddhi, आपने लिखा है for banking and insurance. Are you talking about BCom or because see BBI for MCom or you have to go for MBA? I prefer you should go for MBA because if you are into banking and insurance, क्योंकि जब आपका ऑलरेडी स्पेशलाइजेशन है बैंकिंग में तो आपको एमबीए करने से क्या होगा, आपकी एक एड ऑन एडवांटेज हो जाएगी, क्योंकि जब आप एमकॉम पढ़ोगे तो आपको लगेगा अरे ये तो मैं बीबीआई में सब पढ़ के ही आई, तो आप एमबीए में कुछ बेटर पढ़ने वाले हो. सो आई थिंक बीबीआई, बीएमएस, बैफी एंड सच स्टूडेंट्स दे शुड ऑप्ट फॉर एमबीए. अगेन बैंकिंग इट डिपेंड्स कि आप कौन से कॉलेज में एडमिशन ले रहे हो और वहां पे कौन कौन सी स्पेशलाइजेशंस अवेलेबल है. And nowadays I have seen some colleges, they have dual specialization also. Of course, if you are in banking insurance, if you are good at finance, you can take finance. Marketing तो आपके काम का नहीं होगा. काम का नहीं होगा means it won't be your kind of subject. Go for finance, MBA in finance, and अगर MBA in insurance as a specialization है, banking specialization, but preferably for your case it will be finance. अगर सेट कॉमर्स में क्वालिफाई है तो मैनेजमेंट में सेट नेट पैनल इंटरव्यू में उसके मार्क्स कैलकुलेट करते हैं क्या? यस, यू ऑलवेज, इट इज एन एडिशन ना, इट इज ऑलवेज एन एडिशन. मतलब अगेन प्रेफरेंस की बात आती है कि मान लो अगर मैं सिर्फ कॉमर्स में नेट हूं और मेरी फ्रेंड कॉमर्स में नेट है और सेट मैनेजमेंट में, तो प्रेफरेंस जो होता है ना कैन बी गिवन मोर टू द अदर पर्सन. सो इट इज गुड टू क्वालिफाई, बट अगर आप अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट में क्वालिफाई करते हो देन यू नीड टू डू योर स्पेशलाइजेशन इन दैट सब्जेक्ट. उसके लिए भी ना क्राइटेरिया है यूजीसी का, यू हैव टू गो टू द वेबसाइट, अंडरस्टैंड दैट कि within 2 years of qualifying your net exam you will have to complete your post graduation in that subject. There is a criteria. Any other questions? Thank you everyone. Thank you Priya for your kind words. Thank you Amit, and that's how we end. If any other doubts are also there related to exam, you can always go to website. There is my contact number related to crash course, because there we will be in a better position to help you out with all your queries, because once you come into the system you become our students. Of course आप लोग अभी भी हमारे students हो, but we will be in a better position to help you once you join the crash course. And the fees is very nominal. College has really not thought of their profits or anything. They have just okay, they want to help n number of students. As much as students can join this course, you can ask your friends to join this, and you can also surely join for this crash course. Yes, thank you. Thank you Komal ma'am. I end up here, and if you have anything to speak, you can just continue.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. I would request all the participants to join the crash course, as we are having all the expert faculties in the concerned subject. Now, I would like to request Suhana ma'am to propose vote of thanks and end the session.
Okay, thank you so much, Komal ma'am, for giving me the honor for proposing the vote of thanks for today's event. I, Mrs. Suhana Jeswani, on behalf of SES SHM Degree College, would like to spread my most sincere thanks to our resource person, Professor Geeta Bhatia, for respecting our invitation and for sharing her graceful words with us and our students. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us your vital time from your busy schedule to grace this today's meeting. Further, a big thank you to our Honorable Principal, Ma'am Dr. Kiran Chimnani, for granting us the permission to organize today's national level webinar on NTA UGS-NET set. Thank you so much, Kiran ma'am. Further, I would like to place my hearty thanks to SHM management, the organizing team, the teaching as well as the non-teaching staff for their sincere efforts and cooperation for today's meeting. As I am fortunate enough to thank the dedicated and well-motivated team of our college who are well aware of their task and are also very much concerned about the results. But before concluding, I would like to say no event can be successful without the audience. No event can be successful without the audience who dedicate their valuable time to us. I'm very thankful to all the participants as well. Once again, I would like to state that we are glad to all our organization members, participants here over the meeting. I thank you all for being with us. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, Suhana ma'am. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the participants and the organizing team of SHM College. And thanks to Komal ma'am for inviting Ascendance Academy team. And there are more team members at Ascendance Academy who are going to be there for crash course. All are having their expertise, and I'm sure that you will be gaining a lot. So put an effort of time, effort of little money, and gain a lot for your exam preparation. Thank you, everyone. And we sign off for the day. Have a great day and stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.